381-1760 or go to loanpronto.com right now. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166171, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Is going to your local bar the worst part of your day? The bartender ignores you, mediocre food, warm beer? Then why go there? Take 5 minutes and drop in at Sharkies, where they'll give you a free evaluation, and you can learn about all the bars that you shouldn't go to. Sharkies has helped thousands find the right bar to hang at. What are you waiting for? Sharkies evaluation could be the cure to the worst part of your day. Change your bar, change your life. Sharkies, 5800 Durham Road by the Shell Station.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Every second counts in a poison emergency. That's why Poison Help is standing by 24/7 to provide free assistance in over 100 languages. Save Poison Help as a contact in your phone today. Poison Help. 1-800-222-1222.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Richie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Richie Law is on top of it. Go to RichieLaw.com.
That's RichieLaw.com.
They score! Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Our tropical systems continue to pull away, so gradually we'll see some thinning of the clouds this afternoon. We'll see a high of 77, still a little on the muggy side, but that changes by tomorrow. We're nice and cool tonight. We dip down to 53, and tomorrow, partly cloudy skies with a high of 71 and a nice drop in humidity.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones up 107 points to 46,505.
Jones, there was no fair catch at the 12, and he squeezes out of it. Marcus Jones down the sideline. Blockers in front, past the punter. Marcus Jones, and that's a punt return for a touchdown. Drake may. Can he keep it himself and take it? He will. He does. And that is a touchdown, New England. So Vrabel, they hang on to the ball. They hang on for the win easily, 42-13.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Wednesday, hump day, October 1st. Starting anew. Fresh energy, everybody. Your team lose this week, your team lose every week. Well, that was September. That's not the October version. We're new, we're fresh. There's roster moves happening. Buckle up, everybody. We're having a good show today. I promise you. And first introductions. I'm Tim Donnelly, Dennis Cox producing the show. And now, the Big 3 at 3.
Number 1.
The Carolina Panthers. I'm so excited. I'm so optimistic. And I'm jumping on the big voice guy.
No, it's all good.
The Carolina Panthers had a rough one this past weekend. Got smoked by the Patriots. But guess what? That was September Panthers.
Yeah.
That was the Panthers before they had DJ Dallas on the active roster.
Let's go.
Before they signed Jake Curran off the Arizona practice squad, an offensive lineman. There were a flurry of end-of-the-roster moves for the Carolina Panthers today. We're going to go over the impact of them quickly. Yesterday, DJ Johnson was released. That is the headliner of the moves. And if you want full, in-depth, immediate reaction to that, the news broke while we were on air yesterday. I encourage you to check out our YouTube, 99.9 The Fan on YouTube. This morning, offensive lineman Chandler Zavala, former NC State offensive lineman, who was already put into playing time by other injuries, Robert Hunt going down, he was put on the IR, as was wide receiver David Moore, who is like Dave Canales' teddy bear, like his safety blanket. He helps him through storms, right? He's just somebody that's trusted by Dave Canales, and he's been with him at multiple stops along his career. They're both on IR. Designating the return window from IR, LeBrian Ray, a defensive lineman. Signed to the active roster, I brought it up, DJ Dallas, the running back, Travion Thomas, defensive back, and an offensive lineman, Jake Curhan from the Arizona practice squad. They also then replaced some guys on the practice squad with another offensive lineman by the name of Aiden Williams, a running back, Trey Tyus, and an offensive lineman, Sadiq Charles. Some of those names have been bouncing around the organization for a while. You may recognize them, you may not. What I think all of that represents is, football seasons are long, guys get hurt. You're going to need to have well-connected relationships with players who are either on practice squads elsewhere or flirting with your roster, because there's a good chance you're going to have to call them up at some point. The other thing that I'm taking away from it is the offensive line and the wide receiving group has gone aggressively against what expectations were at the beginning of the year. If you would have asked right before they cut to their 53-man roster, I mean, especially on the offense, but maybe on the roster as a whole, hey, which groups do you actually have a little bit of depth on? Wide receiver and offensive line would be near the top.
Oh, absolutely.
Maybe you throw in interior defensive line, which has also been hit with some injuries. But those three were hey, we've got depth there positions. We're a month in. There's no more depth at either position.
Yeah, you put three guys on your offensive line on injured reserve now. Then among your wide receivers, you traded one away in Adam Thielen. Xavier Lee gets hurt. Jalen Coker is on injured reserve as well. Delevon Campbell David Moore also on injured reserve. Campbell that you picked up off waivers at the cut-down deadline is now waived injured as well. So, you've all that depth that you built up, gone now.
It's gone, and part of me wants to play woe is me, but the reality is, in the NFL, if you have depth good, you're going to need it. It's that kind of league, unless you're just wildly lucky, which some teams do get occasionally. But all right, you had depth at offensive line and wide receiver. Now you're going to have to go prove it, because that depth is being tested. And in a weird, disgusting, next man up, cynical way, it's a good thing it happened at those positions. Would have happened at secondary, we'd be in a lot more trouble.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
You know what I mean?
Real good point.
What happened at linebacker? They'd be calling some of you listeners up to go play, give them snaps, because they were already down with the Josie Jewell right before training camp moves and moving on from Shaq Thompson and all of these other things that have happened. So it's almost all right, at least your injuries are hitting positions where you felt like you had a couple of guys at each position that could be NFL caliber. Now you just need them to go be NFL caliber, maybe 3 deep. That's number one for the Big 3 at 3. Let's hit number 2.
Number 2.
I mean, it's playoff baseball. There's Major League Baseball playoffs going on as we speak. Bottom of the 6th, Detroit, Cleveland. Detroit already leads 1-0 in the series, and it's 1-1 in the game. We're talking live or die baseball.
Let's go.
Now, Dennis, you watched the games last night. Give us the quick highlights.
The exciting one last night was between Boston and New York. New York actually had a 1-0 lead. Max Fried pitched great when got into the 7th inning, and then Aaron Boone decides to make a switch. Then the bullpen blows it. But then at the bottom of the 9th, Aroldis Chapman, who's the closer for the Boston Red Sox, ends up getting the bases loaded with no outs in the bottom of the 9th. Yankees don't get one run across the board. Not a single run across the board. You have bases loaded, nobody out in the bottom of the ninth, and you could not get a run across. And some of the big guys, like, for example, like Aaron Judge got a hit to get on base during that stretch too. So it's not like those guys didn't do it, but I mean, goodness. It was pretty fun to watch, though.
The perfection of a rivalry win like that. Like, we were actually just talking about this off air. If you really don't like a team, you almost want them to taste victory before it is ripped away, right? You want them to think it's going to happen before they lose all hope. You don't want them to be, down 6-0 going into the second and it's like, you look at that, gave a good run. No, you want them to think this is it. We're going to do it. We're going to make the come and then ripped away. Red Sox, Yankees, there's no vitriol or bad feelings between those two, are there?
I will say as well, one of the things I appreciated about yesterday watching the games is that the managers actually let their starting pitchers go deep into games, as opposed to what you see in the regular season. We're like, all right, the third time around the lineup, let's go ahead and get to the bullpen. It's, the pitcher's only throwing 75 pitches in 5 2/3 innings. No, they actually let guys go into the 7th, 8th inning, which I thought was very refreshing.
Aaron Boone, the manager for the Yankees, is getting roasted for pulling Max Fried.
Yeah.
Which I like, listen, I don't like managing baseball players with binders and computers and just looking for the numbers. But I would like to point out that maybe if he would have left Max Fried in there, he would have gotten shelled and they would have lost anyway. There's no, you can't speak with 100% certainty that you knew what was going to happen if it went the other way. But that's baseball. That's what the debate is. That's what happens.
Fried at the time he got pulled, by the way, had thrown 102 pitches already.
Yeah, but in like 1974, he's just getting warmed up.
That's just a day.
That's Nolan Ryan doesn't wake up till he hits 115.
That's true. I mean, Crochet, the pitcher for the Red Sox, went 117 pitches, 7 2/3.
Crochet's a monster.
Yeah, I know.
He's a really good pitcher. I didn't like, actually, along the lines of rivalries, and I know it's true. I'm not saying that he should lie. I didn't like Aaron Judge complimenting Crochet as much as he did. He's wearing the other jersey. You walk up there and say, he did nothing special. We beat ourselves. There you go. Out there complimenting a rival. I want you mispronouncing his name intentionally. That's number 2. Let's get to number 3.
Number 3.
I almost started saying the ways you could mispronounce Crochet,
but
I'm
not going to do that.
Didn't want to go there. Did
Nope.
not want to go there. How about this? And this is not a mispronunciation or a typo or anything else. The Carolina Hurricanes, according to Sportico, who does average evaluations and does all their research, they derive the fair market value of 32 NHL franchises, calculating each team's revenue, relying on publicly available. Basically, they look at the finances and tell you how much each team is worth in the NHL. They do this once a year, kind of going into the NHL season. They do this for most sports, actually. Carolina Hurricanes are up 49% in evaluation year over year. $1.92 billion in total value in 2025 valuation, which is not the biggest percentage jump of any team in the league, but they did jump the most slots up in the rankings. They are now the 15th highest valued team in the NHL. That is a 10-spot jump from last season. They were 25th last year. By the way, only 32 teams. So they're right down there kind of tucked in the bottom group a season ago. 49% jump, and now they're in the top half of the league. 15th highest paid valuation. For those of you wondering, I can give you the exact number. A season ago, $1.29 billion. They're now up to $1.92 billion. So they just flipped the 2992. This is, first of all, a lesson that I think every owner should heed. And this goes across all professional sports. Tom Dundon, credit to you, right? You put together a good group, you invest in winning, you end up getting a huge return on your investment. And that's kind of the lesson I want every owner to heed. Money follows winning. Do you know who's the only team in the league that increased their value by a greater percentage than the Carolina Hurricanes in the last year? The Florida Panthers, which I don't have to like the Florida Panthers to go, you know what, if you win back-to-back cups, it makes sense that the money is flowing in at a rate that's pretty darn good, right?
It helps.
So they're up 51% in their evaluation year over year. The Canes, the one thing they've done consistently is win a high percentage of their games over the last, really since Tom Dundon took over, right, is just keep winning games. The money keeps flowing in. David Tepper, you're a business genius. Win games, money will follow. Jerry Jones, right? It's not about creating tabloids and trading mica and being in documentaries. If you win a Super Bowl, the money will follow. If you win games, the money will follow. $1.92 billion for the Carolina Hurricanes valuation. And just in case you're a little curious, highest valued team is still the Toronto Maple Leafs at $4.25 billion. Yeah, it's healthy for the league. I'll throw this out there as well. You want to know a fact that is true about every single team in the NHL? All of their valuations have gone up at least 5% over the last year, and most double digits. Only San Jose, Tampa Bay, and Vancouver have gone up by less than 10% this year. And when you're talking about billions, 10%, a lot of money. That's why the cap is rising. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That is the Big Three at 3 here on The Drive. When we return, we talked about it yesterday, but we have the audio now. Bill Belichick spoke on the coaches show during the bye week, or after the bye week for the UNC Tar Heels, and we'll play that audio for you coming up next.
Tim, I'm receiving an important update.
Ooh, are you getting night vision?
No. I just found out you could get $200 with Navy Federal Credit Union when you refinance your auto loans from another lender.
So, no night vision?
No night vision.
Learn more at NavyFederal.org/auto loans. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA. Credit and collateral subject to approval. Refinance loan must be at least $5,000 to be eligible for the $200. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey, folks, Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. I've been on the program at Raleigh Weight Loss Center for just about 2 months now, and I'm proud to say that I've lost nearly 40 pounds. And it's something that I can sit there and say, and I look in the mirror that I put the work in to do it. And I know a lot of people want to put the work in, but they don't know how. They don't know where to go. And this is what Raleigh Weight Loss Center gives you. They give you a plan. They tell you, if you follow this, you can see results. It's that simple. Stay dedicated, stay disciplined, and you can see results. And I have been able to do that through the program at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. It's direct, it's straightforward, it's easy to follow, and I've lost nearly 13% of my body weight as a result. Visit RaleighWeightLossCenter.com or schedule your free 15-minute phone call to learn more. Ask any questions, determine if it's the right fit for you. Visit RaleighWeightLossCenter.com or give them a call, 919-897-7506, 919-897-7506. Results may vary.
Football season is back, and let's be honest, your living room doesn't have award-winning wings, a massive beer selection, and over 50 TVs. Carolina Ale House does. We've got homemade favorites and so many screens you can watch every game at once. Bring your crew, bring your appetite, and get loud with us. Don't fumble your game day plans. Come watch the game at Carolina Ale House, where great sports deserves great food. Hell yeah.
Johnson, caught, touchdown, North Carolina, Kobe Pator.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. So the North Carolina Tar Heels, for a week, kind of got out of the spotlight, which is I think a much needed break from the spotlight for the North Carolina Tar Heels. They had a bye week, and they had the ability to chill, and it appears as if they did that. They went a week without making any big headlines, which is nice. They came out of the bye week, hopefully a better team, hopefully a closer team, hopefully a more bonded team, hopefully a more understanding of what their identity is team. And their coach spoke to the media in a way that he hasn't done in a while. He does the mandatory press conferences, post games, one media availability, whatever it is. But he has not really done the more casual setting, friendly face interviews that so many coaches do, coaches shows and things like that. But he did this week. right? Maybe he had a little extra time because he got some stuff done over the bye week. But he was on Tar Heel Live, and we have some audio for you. He was asked if he has had to change his recruiting pitch at all after the early season struggles for the Carolina Tar Heels. And here's part of Bill Belichick's point.
What we've had to sell, the players are very excited about, the parents are excited about, and we've gotten a lot of really good football players to commit here, and almost everybody that we've wanted to visit and recruit has been recruitable. Now, we haven't gotten all those players, of course, but we've gotten certainly a lot of good ones, and there's a lot of interest in Carolina, across the board. So that's been great. It hasn't been, haven't been very many shutouts where it's like, well, we're just not really interested. We've only heard that 2 or 3 times in, maybe 9 months. So, guys already have some, relationship with somewhere else where, their parents went or wherever that's their dream school and so forth, and they're just not interested. So that's fine. But the rest of them, they want to see what we're selling, and we have a lot to sell.
None of that is untrue, right? I'm not disagreeing with any of that. What I think North Carolina has to worry about, and worry might not be the right term, but they have to be aware of it in the recruiting world, is do top recruits who have a lot of options really want to consider Carolina, or do they want to be recruited for a little bit by Bill Belichick? I think that's it. Like, nobody is going to say, no, Bill, don't call me, don't text me. No, Carolina, don't come on a visit, because it's got to be kind of cool to be recruited by Bill Belichick. And at the very least, right, get him in your high school and let your high school coach talk to Bill Belichick, and you guys get to get some stories out of it. Like, I think you have to be cautious. You're not going to be turned down, doors slammed by anybody, but, make sure that they, are actually considering you. I've never had this problem because, obvious reasons, but, I started dating my wife fairly young, so never had to deal with this, but you gotta figure out if the person that you're taking out on a date is really interested in potentially having something long-term with you, or if they just want a free meal. You know what I'm saying? You got to differentiate that, and you got to figure out what their motivation is for coming out on the evening. If you're Bill Belichick, look at that. Every recruit wants to have a conversation with me. Nobody's slamming the door in my face. It's like, well, do they want to be recruited by you and potentially go to North Carolina, or do they just want a conversation with Bill Belichick? There's differences there. Belichick was asked about the break in the schedule, obviously the bye week, and how the team's taking advantage of it. This is what he had to say.
As Michael said, we've been going pretty hard since the start of August, and we had an opener and then a short week and a couple more games. So everybody got a couple of days to just kind of relax and get refreshed a little bit here, and we come in, have a great week, get ready for Clemson, and it's exciting to play that team, that program, and start off the ACC schedule. So we're looking forward to it.
Go ahead, Mike. Well, and then Coach went on. Coach went back up to the Boston area, was able to go see 2 high school games, which is really good for us. There's not often that the head coach can go out during the season because there's so much stuff going on. So Coach was able to go see one kid we're trying to recruit, and then see other kids that we already have recruited. So that really helps your program when the head coach is out there on the road.
Oh, you mean that guy's got a little bit of sway in Boston?
Thought it wasn't allowed.
They didn't say to the Patriots organization. He's not recruiting anybody who's I guess, a son or relative of somebody with the Patriots. I'm glad, and this is for many reasons, but I'm glad I didn't try to go into coaching in college, because I imagine even that just caused a little bit of drama, right?
Mm-hmm.
Say you're a big recruit, and you just had the GM say, head coaches never get to go out. We got to send him to 2 high school games. You're like, well, he wasn't at my game. I thought I was a priority here, Coach. You went back to Boston. You saw 2 games. Heck, I'm in XYZ state, and then I haven't heard from you. I haven't seen you since blah, blah, blah. Like, I imagine recruiting is just so much drama. Let's keep it rolling here. Bill Belichick on how self-scouting has helped the young players grow within his program.
Either improve it, keep doing more of it, or get rid of it. And so, we've had an opportunity to do that in all 3 phases of the game. And I'd say a lot of our younger players have have shown a lot of improvement over the last couple of weeks, and they're starting to get a little more play time and continue to improve this week when they have more opportunity to just, work on fundamentals here. So we're really starting to see some of our young players come along, and that's exciting.
The development part of the game is a double-edged sword. And I think coaches like Bill Belichick, basketball coaches, I think there are going to be certain parts of college sports where you really are going to have to put in a lot of work, and occasionally you're just going to have to open yourself up to getting burned. And I think developing young players, particularly the players that are within your program and not featured on game day, that bit is going to be exhausting. It wasn't that long ago, right? Pre-transfer portal, pre-NIL, where developing your freshmen, your sophomores was the life's blood of the program, right? If a guy showed up and he was a 5 super-duper star and he played as a true freshman, that was great and you loved it. But the way you built depth in your program, the way you built a really good team was taking your freshmen and having them be better as sophomores, taking your sophomores and having them be better as juniors. And you were confident that if you did that, you were confident that if you invested in your young guys, you would see the fruits of that labor when they were upperclassmen. Nowadays, what's going to happen is one of two things, and it's going to come down to the player's personality, and it's going to come down to how you kind of treat it and what your roster is consistent of. Either Bill Belichick is going to say, all right, guys, I know you're not playing on Saturday as much as you want, or maybe at all. Maybe you're a red shirt, but I'm still invested in your development. Let's meet. Let's talk. Let's go over your practice film. Let's make sure you're not repeating mistakes. Let's dive in. And Carolina might see the fruits of that labor. Matter of fact, they might be more likely to see the fruits of that labor because they're showing a vested interest in a player who's not having an impact on game day. So maybe they're more likely to stay. But there's the other side of that coin as well, which you might put dozens of man hours, dozens of hours talking film and working on practice and working in technique into a player who then hits the transfer portal and you never get the benefit of that improvement. They show up at your team as a 6 out of 10 player. They leave as an 8 out of 10 player, and that 8 out of 10 player goes and is all conference for some other school. That is both brutal and a necessary beast. Because if you're not developing your young players, they're not going to see value, and they're never going to stay. They're going to think you're ignoring them, you're not playing them, and they're going to leave. If you invest in them heavily, they might stay. They also might take that big investment you gave them and run to someone else, and that's going to be a real kick in the we'll call it a kick in the head. Kick in the gut, something like that. And that's crazy to think about. Like, Bill Belichick's going to learn. And I'm not saying I know better than him, but I'm saying he's still a new college coach. He hasn't coached someone for a year only for them to go in the portal yet. He hasn't, recruited for a year a player only to find out at the end that they were never leaving their home state. They haven't, done any of that yet. And it happens. It happens a lot. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, Tim Donnelly here for Miller Lending. If your mortgage rate starts with a 7, you're really going to want to pay attention here because Miller Lending, Gordon Miller and Miller Lending might be able to lower your monthly payment kind of immediately. All you got to do is call in and see if your situation works. And the way they do that is with something called a no-cost loan. They're the home of the no-cost loan. So if you have a mortgage rate that starts with a 7 and they can get you into the 6s, right? They can get you a little bit lower, half point lower, full point lower, whatever it is. They don't expect you to come with a big old check for closing costs like many refinances operate with. They don't need you to bring the cash. They don't need you to pay the thousands of dollars to get the couple hundreds of dollars off your payment and then do the math that all you need to do is, if you're going to break even in 14 months from now or whatever it is, you'll be breaking even immediately because there's no closing costs, no third-party fees, 0 means 0, no surcharge, No hidden fees or costs. Gordon's been doing no closing cost loans since 1987, so you could say he's mastered it and he wants to pass along that mastery to you. So stop paying to buy down rates. Stop hesitating to refi when rates drop because there's no cost to you. Give them a call, 919-447-3377. That's 919-447-3377. Or visit them online at millerlending.com. That's millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, NMLS number 250-2146. We have the Dean's List coming up next right here on The Drive. Don't go anywhere.
It's bow time. Fumbling the food on game day? Rookie move. But you know Bo can make your tailgate a winner, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Because the Carolina Legend has everything you're craving. We're talking crispy, juicy chicken loaded with real Southern flavor, fluffy, scratch-made buttermilk biscuits, and all the fixins to feed your whole crew faster than you can say touchdown. Be the MVP this season and let Bojangles do the cooking. Order your tailgate today. It's bow time.
Planning a tailgate? Then it's bow time. Bojangles has everything you need for the perfect tailgate, no matter how many fans you're trying to feed. There's the original tailgate, the super tailgate, and for a really big crowd, the jumbo tailgate special. And if you like your chicken off the bone, choose the Supreme's tailgate special that includes 12 perfectly seasoned tenderloin fillets. So grab the tickets, get that Bojangles tailgate special, and go. It's bow time.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-292-4541 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-292-4541. That's 800-292-4541. What do you have to lose? Call 800-292-4541. Again, 800-292-4541.
Do you have trouble getting in and out of the bathtub? Are you afraid you'll slip and fall entering or exiting a tub? Safe Step walk-in tubs can transform your bathtub from an area of concern to a calming refuge. Call them today at 1-800-731-4558 and save $1,600. SafeStep walk-in tubs and showers are proudly made in Tennessee and offer an ultra-low step-in, avoiding that difficult climb over a traditional bathtub wall. They also offer a variety of therapeutic benefits that may help soothe your aching muscles and joints, increasing your mobility, boosting your energy, and improving your sleep. SafeStep walk-in tubs are designed to easily fit your existing tub space and are often installed in as little as one day. Just dial 1-800-731-4558 today to save $1,600 and receive a free shower package. That's 1-800-731-4558 for a free no-obligation consultation and to save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs. Safety never felt so good.
Here's the snap. He will throw. They bring pressure. He's got time, though. Lofts it. End zone for Barkay. Got it again. Touchdown. His second of the ball game. A little shoulder shake. And it's 23-3.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Please download our app, 99.9 The Fan, the application on the phone. Android, go to the Google Play Store. iPhone, go to the App Store. Anything else, or including those, go to our social media bios on any social media. Look in the bio for a link. Click it. There's explanations. And why? Well, there's a few reasons. One, it's an awesome app, and it gives you the content about your favorite teams, whether you're talking Canes, Panthers, any of the colleges in the area, so much more. It's all right there on the app. You can live stream this show, the Adam Gold Show. Next up, you can find all of the podcasts that we offer. Some reading if you're into the blog world. There's a lot going on there, but also there's giveaways. In many cases, they are app-only giveaways or app and website-only giveaways. And matter of fact, there's one of those going on right now. NC State, Georgia Tech tickets if you want to go to the game. Obviously, Georgia Tech ranked. Could be a big one. What you want to do is you want to go to the app. You want to download it. You want to give us the 5-star rating in the App Store or Google Play Store. And then once you're in the app, just make sure you register. You got to fill out your name and a few other details, email address, and that's it. Then you're entered to win the tickets. We've already given away a signed Panthers jersey. It was Xavier Leggett. We already gave away Clemson UNC football tickets. There was an Ed Sheeran giveaway, Ed Sheeran tickets, concert tickets on there. There's a bunch of different things we're giving away on the app, but you have to be on the app. You have to be registered to win. You can also click on the – let me see if it's on there behind me. There's also a like a win free stuff little icon you can click on.
Contest.
Yeah, you can't see it on the examples behind me. I was hoping it was there, but there's many examples. You don't need to see it. It's obvious. It stands out. Good app is what I'm getting at. Now, here on The Drive, let's get to the Dean's List. This is where we give a few extra accolades to those in the college sports world that deserve, or directly or indirectly related to the college sports world, a few extra bits of praise. We'll go Chandler Morris, UVA quarterback.
Okay.
ESPN put out a list. They ranked every Power 5 starting quarterback. Chandler Morris, UVA, 13th in the country.
Okay.
13th. Has him over Joey Aguilar, Tennessee, over Darian Mensah of Duke, Josh Hoover of TCU, amongst many others, obviously.
Young man can sling it.
He can. There's a lot of guys that can sling it, but also like pretty horrendous game-ending interception against State. I'm not here to knock Chandler Morris. I'm here to say you've convinced some people because I don't think you're bottom half of the country, but 13th seems a little rich. So congratulations for getting whatever people wanted to see and showing them.
Might be a little recency bias in the sense that they just beat Florida State.
Sure. And he's ahead of Tommy Castellanos above, but I think Castellanos was a little bit high as well. There's this actually what it all plays into is I think there's a growing amount of disagreement on the quarterbacks in college football right now, where there's not the 3 or 4 unifying quarterbacks that everybody knows. Like, all right, well, those are the top tier. There's little factions and camps built all over the country for who's the better quarterbacks. And I guess Chandler Morris has a little group campaigning for him. Do you have some Dean's Listers you'd like to throw out here, Dennis?
I don't.
All right, then we'll keep it rolling. This one might hurt some State fans. Casey Concepcion.
Interesting.
He's putting together a really nice season with Texas A&M. 7th in the SEC in receiving yards. He has 340 yards in 4 games, 3 touchdowns, plus I believe a return touchdown. He only had 460 yards last season for State, so he's already creeping up on that. And basically the reason why I put him in the Dean's List is I kind of want to see if everybody was bluffing. Right? There's a bunch of State fans that when Casey Concepcion hit the transfer portal, they would say some like kind of mean things and then go into, but I wish him all the best going forward, right? Hate his body language. I think he did it, but all the best going forward. Now he's like doing well somewhere else. I'm like, you still happy about it? You were wishing him the best. Still stoked? Yes, no, Texas A&M's doing well. That might also burn Duke fans a little bit because Elko is doing well. I don't know. Casey Concepcion, he's having a good thing there. Even if he didn't handle everything perfectly at State, I tend to give, teenagers and 20-year-olds a little bit of grace there. Happy to see him doing well. And he's making $1 million reportedly by On3, so good year for Casey Concepcion, I guess.
Can't be mad at it.
Yeah, that's a lot of money. More Dean's Listers here. This is a follow-up to this group being on the Dean's List, I think a week ago. Putting the Big 12 on the Dean's List. The Big 12 has officially announced what we reported earlier and what we relayed from other reporting earlier. Arizona State and Kansas are playing in London, September 19th, 2026, Wembley Stadium. What they're calling the Union Jack Classic, which we've already reported. They've already been on Dean's List. The part that I'm adding here, Commissioner Brett Yormark of the Big 12, who I have disagreed with a lot of the ways he's handled the Big 12, he has a quote that I kind of love. He says, "My goal is for the Big 12 to be the most globally relevant conference in college athletics." There is a land grab happening with American football overseas. And in a world where every dollar, every media deal, everything that you are able to bring into your conference members becomes hugely important in the future of college sports for realignment and finances and everything else. Like, if all you're doing as a college football entity is looking at what the NFL's doing and saying, yeah, I'll have what they're having, that's probably good business, because the NFL is printing money hand over fist. So with them, like, I almost want to say, like, when they're in Brazil, just keep the fields lined that way. We're coming the next week. When they're in London, you know what? Just keep the sod the same way. We'll be there with Kansas and Oklahoma State next week. Like, just keep rolling teams into those spots, because I think there's a lot of money over there. And it's good to get in before the SEC and the ACC and the Big Ten want to, because those are behemoths that can probably bully you at the moment. And then lastly, my last Dean's Lister for the day. Are you a big Dumb and Dumber fan?
Oh, the original movie, absolutely.
Yeah, good. Yeah, of course. None of these sequels.
Harry, I took care of it.
I'm putting Lloyd Christmas on the Dean's List.
Okay.
So you're telling me there's a chance for that quote specifically. Heather Dinich, ESPN, put out what I'm calling college football playoffology. It's like the equivalent of bracketology in college basketball season, where she's saying, like, if the playoff were today, here are the teams that would be in, here are the first couple out, here are the teams that still have a chance. And she broke it down by conference for part of the article. If the playoff were today, Heather Dinich has 2 ACC teams in, Florida State, Miami. She has another section called On the Cusp. This is like first teams out of bracketology, right? On the Cusp. She has Georgia Tech. Then she has a group called Work to Do. Guess who's in the Work to Do category?
Go on.
NC State, Work to Do. Louisville, Cal, Virginia, Work to Do.
Okay.
Now, I would say whole bunch of work to do.
That sounds like a lot of work.
A lot of work to do.
A lot of work.
But you're telling me there's a chance? By the way, everybody else was in the would-be out category. Boston College, Clemson, Duke, Carolina, Pitt, SMU, Stanford, Syracuse, Virginia Tech, Wake Forest, out. But Cal, Louisville, State, and Virginia, you're telling me there's a chance. I'm not sure if there actually is, but I like that she's keeping hopes up. Lloyd Christmas. 1 in a million. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That is the Dean's List. We need some people to play better in college so the Dean's List doesn't have to dig so far on a Wednesday. We need just some hey, this guy ran for 100 yards. We need some of that going on, because when you got to go to Dumb and Dumber references, that probably says something about the colleges you cover. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We'll be back with a conversation. So the Canes value, if you were listening earlier, value of the Carolina Hurricanes way up year over year, according to Sportico. We're talking the value of the franchise. How could the Canes see that on the ice? Does that impact them when it comes to actual hockey? I think you can find a few ways. Stick around.
Hey, it's Brian from McDonald's. And if you're like me, you're a don't talk to me until I get my cup of coffee person. Sarah knows that very well. That's why I treat myself to McDonald's. And right now, you can grab any sized iced coffee for just $1. Maybe you need something extra. Go for a hot or iced mocha, latte, or macchiato for $2. And if you're really feeling fancy, whoa, for $3, you can get a caramel or mocha frappe. Easy as 1, 2, 3. $1, $2, $3. Any size, every morning, during breakfast hours only. Price and participation may vary, cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
The 25th Anniversary SAS Championship tees off October 10th through 12th at the Prestonwood Country Club. See golf's greatest, Ernie Els, Bernard Longer, Colin Montgomery, and more battle it out right here in the Triangle. This year's celebration is bigger than ever with fireworks after Food Truck Friday and exciting action from the legends all weekend long. Don't miss golf, food, family fun, and 25 years of memories. Get tickets today at sasschampionship.com. Proceeds benefit the YMCA of the Triangle.
Struggling with high interest debt? You can pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Get cash out now without touching your low rate first mortgage. No appraisals, no waiting, no BS. The Rapid Equity Loan program at Loan Pronto is amazing. One Loan Pronto client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. They paid off debt, renovated their kitchen, and cut their monthly expenses by $1,800. That's a huge turnaround. Loan Pronto, instant approvals, low rates, no hard credit pull up front. Listen, your home equity is yours. Use it. Get cash to consolidate your debt down to one easy low monthly payment. Call Loan Pronto now for a free instant appraisal for your home and see how much cash you can get today. Loan Pronto is A+ rated by the BBB and have nearly 2,500 5-star Google reviews. Their service is off the charts. Call now to start the conversation. 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. 919-381-1760. Get debt relief now. Loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender. NMLS 1661781 on approved credit. NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Don't miss Bailey's Fall Antique and Vintage Jewelry Show October 7th through 11th. Search through hundreds of vintage necklaces, rings, bracelets, earrings, and more to discover your unique jewelry treasure. Visit Bailey's Fine Jewelry on October 7th in Rocky Mount, October 8th in Greenville, October 9th in Cary, or October 10th and 11th in Raleigh's Village District to find your perfect piece of jewelry history. Visit BaileyBox.com for details.
This is John Wall. The Salvation Army does so much for people right here in Wake County. Join me and 999 The Fan in showing them some love and support. Just for me, the Salvation Army is always dope. It gives opportunity for anybody, any situation to get support. I really got into it because my mom, before she passed, she was always doing so much she could to help the Salvation Army, cooking for them, doing anything to get back to them. So we always want to honor her and keep that going with my John Wall Family Foundation. The need in Wake County is real, and the Salvation Army is meeting it with real solutions. If you want to help, visit wakearmy.org.
Sandin hammers one, deflected in front. Another try by Ovechkin and another save by Anderson.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. So here's the deal, everybody. The Carolina Hurricanes. Turns out, good investment. Turns out, Tom Dundon, who is a multiple-time billionaire and just agreed to purchase the Portland Trail Blazers, and I say this sarcastically, might be a good business guy. Might know what he's talking about when it comes to increasing his net worth. And it happened again because the Carolina Hurricanes, of which he is the owner, over the last year, according to Sportico, grew about $600 million in value, going from about 1.2-something billion to actually a little bit more, 7-ish, to 1.92 billion. 49% jump in value year over year, according to Sportico, who every year puts out a list of valuations for franchises for each sport, kind of on the doorstep of them getting started. That made the Carolina Hurricanes, that 49% jump, which was the second biggest in the league behind only the back-to-back Cup-winning Florida Panthers, that brought them from the 25th highest valued franchise to the 15th highest valued franchise in the NHL, which is great. But one of the first questions I had is, well, actually, my first reaction was like to stand up for hockey in the South, to just go like, see? And people said it wouldn't work. And people say Raleigh and the Triangle isn't a big market. Like I wanted to puff my chest up there. And then once I was done posturing for nobody in particular, my first like more rational thought was, is this good for anyone other than Tom Dundon? Because even when the franchise was valued significantly less, they were almost always spending to the cap, right? It's not like having an owner who doesn't have a high evaluation of the franchise was holding them back from being in the mix for top-paying free agents. What would keep you out of the mix of highly paid free agents is if you already had too many contracts on the books, right? The cap is what the cap is, regardless of how many zeros an owner has in their stock portfolio. So my question was, and is, how will you see it? How will you, if you are going to see it, where will you see the raised financial profile of the team as a fan, as somebody who supports the team? Because like I said, like it's not like, all right, now we can spend like the Dodgers. Let's go buy every single highly paid free agent. And where's the Shohei? Like, no. I do think you'll see it in ways like the fan experience. I mean, I think I would actually estimate a decent amount of this value addition is the fact that you're no longer just the owner of the Lenovo Center. You're the owner of the Lenovo Center and a burgeoning entertainment district surrounding the Lenovo Center.
Yeah, the renovations and everything that's coming to the area definitely is going to play a factor into it as well.
So that helps, right? I do think the fan experience will go up. There'll be more to do around the arena. It'll be a better in-game experience. Like that all plays into it. But also, you just anywhere you look on a hockey franchise that doesn't count against the cap should be a more logical expenditure now, right? If you are one of the bargain basement priced teams, meaning franchise valuation teams, then you can spend to the cap, you can get the players, you can do all of that, but are you as willing to spend on things like a super-duper highly paid coaching staff or training staff or strength and conditioning staff or increases in facilities at the practice facility or the latest in analytics staff and technology or like anything that is not essentially essential. Like you don't need it on game day, but could increase just the value in the margins. I think it's much easier for an owner to go, all right, yeah, let's spend on it. All right, yeah, let's hire 2 extra people for that role. Okay, yes, if you're asking for it, fine, as long as they can look at the bottom line and go, all right, well, we'll spend the extra $10 million. Oh, by the way, I made $600 million on paper in the last year. So there are ways there that can happen. And then this last one is the one that I actually think we'll see and hear about more, I'd say, over the next 10 years, if this is where some of that added value goes. Players' quality of life. Players' quality of life. What has been maybe the dumbest argument that we've had to combat over the last 3-4 years about the Carolina Hurricanes?
What's that?
People don't want to come here. Players don't want to play here. Miko didn't, so nobody does. Right? And we've litigated that too much already. But there are weird little things in professional sports that players value probably way more than they should, right? Things like the food at the facilities, things like how nice is your travel, things like what is the setup on game day for families, right? There's all of these little things that if you go to, I think the Athletic or the Players Associations oftentimes do these big anonymous polls about, which teams have the best setups and all of these other seemingly like small things, right? You're getting paid in some cases, right? Kaprizov just signed for $17 million a year. You're getting paid double-digit millions in some cases, multiple millions in many cases, over $1 million in darn near every case. And it's like you're really judging where you want to play based on, what's the food spread for your families on game day. But it's like, no, that stuff matters, right? The everyday stuff matters. And if you are a cash-poor franchise relative to the others, or you are a low-valued franchise, maybe you can't justify going top shelf for the families on game day, or maybe you can't justify the bigger plane when you're going to the West Coast. Maybe you can't justify some of this other stuff, but when you're one of the top half of the league in money, which the Canes are now, jumped into the top half, right? They're 15th. Maybe there's a little bit more there, and then the reputation travels, right? Agents are going, all right, we're talking to a couple teams here in free agency. One of them's Carolina, which if we can get the money close, you want to go to Carolina, man. They got top shelf everything. They take care of you in Carolina. Like when that stuff becomes commonplace conversation, you do get a little nudge and you get a little players are more excited to start contract negotiations on long-term deals earlier, and you can actually see some of that on the ice. So basically what I'm saying is the direct impact of something like this, an evaluation going up, it's one step away, right? It's okay, you got all this extra valuation, all this paper money. That means nothing in and of itself to us, right? Other than Tom Dundon is continuing to get more rich and you want to almost reward him for building the Canes into a winner. And it's like, all right, good job, right? Because if you're building him into a winner and you're losing money, you're like, we got to change some things. So they're building into a winner, gaining money, good. But really it's if he uses that financial security to spend on certain other aspects, that's how it can impact winning and or our own enjoyment as fans.
I always say this when it comes to players, athletes, coaches, whatever it might be. If you take care of them off the field, off the ice, whatever it is, they're going to perform better on the field, on the ice, on the court if you take care of them. And because it's an investment into or reinvestment into what your business is. The people are your business. The players are your business, right?
Yep.
So if you put in, like you said, do we add more nutrition, which is actually something the Canes have actually done over the last few years, is adding a nutritionist and chef and actually upgraded in their locker room to have their training facility, whatever it might be, and retaining their staff. And obviously we have seen this team improve on the ice. It's not a coincidence in my eyes that when Dundon put the resources into those areas, that the team started playing better.
By the way, and this is just completely anecdotal, right? I have not done blind surveys and done the full scientific theory. But from my anecdotal experience in my life, when you have a building full of employees that enjoy their job and are having a good time and are being taken care of, business is better.
Imagine that.
They perform better. Whatever their role is, they're better at it. And if you've ever worked at a place, and I won't name names at places I've worked. I've worked at a bunch of different places. But if you ever worked at a place where everybody's miserable, I think you see those results on the flip side as well in how everybody performs. If you go somewhere and everybody's having a good time and everybody's enjoying it and they feel seen, and right, if they make a comment, it's dealt with. If they make a suggestion, it's at least heard. I think that's important. And there's no professional sports owner that's poor, okay? They can all spend more than in a week than most of us will spend in a lifetime. Like, they are all very, very, very rich people. But some of the asks are quite pricey as well. Right? Oh, yeah. Some of the asks that coaches go to or players go to with, hey, do you think you could do this? It's also an ask that many of us will never make, right? When we go ask for our whatever percentage raise at our yearly reviews in our lives, that's a different beast than like, hey, can we charter the 757 rather than the whatever? I don't even know what jets they use. My point is, a lot of money for Tom Dundon. Hopefully it ends up kind of rising tide raises all boats, and everybody in that franchise, including fans, gets to benefit from it. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. From one team that is on the rise, making money, to another team that's probably still making money, but they're not winning as much, Carolina Panthers. We have football at 4 coming up next.
At Howard Hanna Allen Tate Real Estate, they're not just about buying and selling homes. They strengthen local communities. To date, Howard Hanna Allen Tate has contributed more than $27 million to public education, children's health care, and dozens of other initiatives that improve the quality of life in the neighborhoods where their agents live, work, and play. Because strong communities create lasting value for everyone. If you're looking for a real estate company that believes in meaningful impact, visit howardhannatate.com and let them show you how they're built differently.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy. In 2011, I founded Wesley Financial Group with one goal in mind: to help honest folks out of their timeshares permanently. Today, I run Wesley with my 2 sons, a real family business, treating every client and every employee like we'd want our own family treated. That philosophy has helped us grow into the largest, most trusted timeshare cancellation company in the United States. Fortune magazine even recognized us as one of the best places to work. Why? Because we genuinely care. In fact, some of our former clients were so moved by their experience working with us, they joined our team so they could help others to timeshare freedom. If you're stuck in a timeshare, give us a call. Let our family help your family.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-790-1400. 800-790-1400. 800-790-1400.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Turn things all the way up and find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Workers' comp can be tricky, but my law firm will be on top of all the complicated paperwork and sneaky deadlines so that all of your I's are dotted and T's are crossed. If you've been hurt on the job, I'm on top of it. Contact us at richielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Gradually, we'll see our clouds thinning this afternoon. Still going to be a little breezy with a northerly northeast wind gusting to around 20 miles per hour, a high of 77. We keep clearing overnight, and it gets cooler down to the low 50s for early tomorrow morning. Partly cloudy for tomorrow. It'll be a pretty day with a nice drop in humidity. Highs will be in the low 70s.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb and Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones up 74 points to 46,472.
Let's move the chains. Time for Football at 4.
Football at 4 here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. You can set your watch by it. Today, the question is relatively simple in its ask, but could be complicated in its answer.
Okay, go on.
How long does Ejiro Evero have as the defensive coordinator of the Carolina Panthers? It's a simple question, right? Like, just give us a time frame. But all of the things that go into it, I think, are multifaceted. This is not, well, the defense is struggling, and if the defense doesn't play well against this team and that team and that team, then the defensive coordinator should have to, take responsibility for the defense's performance, and that's where it goes. It's not that. There's social dynamics at play here. One might even call it, and this is my second, I don't love relating professional sports to our run-of-the-mill businesses that quote-unquote normal people are in, but could have some office politics involved, right? Could have some, well, you are not going to get the promotion or you're on the chopping block based on your personal friendship or relationship with the boss, which is like the cliche of office politics, right? Here's the way I look at Evero's status and his job security. I think Evero's job status is a pretty good canary in the mine, like a good signal for how much pressure is on Dave Canales and how much he fears for his job. Because whether you think Evero is a good or bad defensive coordinator, one thing that he is he is a specific defensive coordinator. Right? He plays a system. He believes in that system. He goes out and helps them acquire players. That skill set are supposedly specific for that system. Right? They build in Evero's blueprint. So does moving on from a guy that is that specific really help? Right? Do you think you're going to get somebody that fits like a glove into all of these very unique pieces that he's put together? Or would it be the equivalent of doing something so you can say, I did something, right? If a boss, a powers that be, a decision maker who is higher in the corporate food chain than you are, just wants to be able to say, what did you do to fix it? You can go, well, I changed my defensive coordinator, right? Oh, I'm shaking up the coaching staff.
Did something.
I'm doing something. And Evero is uniquely, due to office politics, but due to relationship-wise, he's kind of he's not attached to anything.
He's the most expendable.
It's like a smooth. I'm trying to think of how to describe this. Like, certain things when you take them away, they're gonna leave like a broken cord, a ripped belt, right? Like, because they're attached. He's kind of like you can pick him up and nothing breaks. You know what I mean? He's not Dave Canales' guy. He's not really Dan Morgan's guy. He's not. It doesn't seem like David Tepper's guy, or else maybe he would have been in different situations along the way. He would have been brought into more conversations along the way. So it's like if you move him, it's just a bit more seamless. Because let's say, right? Let's go hypothetical with it. Dave Canales starts having some job pressure put on Canales. He's feeling it from David Tepper or from one of Tepper's, like a henchman. I don't know what you call him. So he's hearing from powers that be, like, things aren't going well. You better be trying something new. Well, he's already kind of locked in as the play caller offensively, right? And while it might be a absolute last gasp to give up play calling, I don't see him doing that, and I don't think it's a realistic ask. Right? Because the moment he gives up his offensive play calling is the moment that anyone can go, well, that's the reason you're here. So if you're not even doing that, we didn't bring you in because you're great at calling timeouts and managing the game. You had never done it before. We brought you in. We brought you in because you were an offensive mind. So him giving up offensive play calling would kind of be admitting, like, I'm not doing what I told you I was going to do.
Especially since there's no one on the offensive coaching staff that has play calling experience.
True.
None.
If they had a super experienced play caller that could just steady the ship for a while, it would be different. Which does bring me to the offensive coordinator, right? Because you go, all right, if he's doing that, maybe you change up offensive coordinator. Brad Idzik's his buddy.
Yeah, that's his guy.
You need people you can trust in this world, right? And you want to keep them close. Brad Idzik's his guy. Office politics tell me Idzik's not going anywhere, not as long as Canales is there, right? So there's no chance that Canales looks up the food chain and says, I'm trying here. I changed my offensive coordinator. Okay, wait, quarterback. Maybe you bench Bryce. Well, you already tried that once. And I will once again say this with full emphasis. It makes absolutely no sense to place anyone other than Bryce. It makes absolutely no sense to play Andy Dalton. It doesn't yet make sense to give Hendon Hooker a look. Like, there's no logic to playing anybody else. That would be, yelling up the food chain. I changed my quarterback. They're going to yell back down the food chain. Well, that was dumb. Like, it's got to be Bryce. Now, could you change? I don't know. Your run game coordinator, could you change your wide receiver 3? Like, yeah, but that's not going to move the needle in any direction significantly. One of the few things you can move when you feel the pressure, like, I need to do something, could be the defense coordinator. Could be the defensive coordinator. It's like this. I don't even know if this happens, and I don't even have any specific examples from my life. But have you ever seen? I feel like I've seen this with other people's kids. You ever seen like a 12-year-old who got in trouble?
Yeah.
And they just start like doing a chore. Like they just feel bad, so they grab a broom, like they don't even know how to sweep. They're just like they just want to be. Look, Mom. Look, Dad. I'm doing like I'm being good, right? And it's just you had to do something there, right? Really, they just wanted you to sit and be quiet and stop doing whatever you were doing wrong. But now it's like, look, I'm doing the dishes. It's like you're not even tall enough to reach a sink. Like if Dave Canales is getting yelled at by his metaphorical parents, and he's just like, look at what I'm doing. I think that would be changing your defense coordinator. It's just, okay. Sure. If it works, great, go for it. But I don't think that's going to solve any of the problems that the Panthers are dealing with. I actually think more of the problems are on offense. I think part of the problems on defense are personnel problems, and that's because for a better part of 2 years, they took most of their big resources and moved them to the offensive side of the ball.
And some of it's also reluctancy also on Evero to play young guys.
True.
That's why DJ Johnson, who is an Evero guy,
oh, I'm not excusing
there.
Evero. I'm not excusing Evero at all from the transgressions that he has committed.
Like, why is Nick Scott playing?
Why is Nick Scott playing? The DJ Johnson thing was baffling. The Princely Wanyelin, even aside from DJ Johnson playing, why is he not getting more run, particularly on pass downs? Like, there's a lot of questions I have. They have 2 sacks.
Mm-hmm.
Month of football, they have 2 sacks.
Yeah.
I'm not excusing the defensive coordinator. I'm wondering if that would change if someone else were calling the plays, especially somebody else who did not handpick, seemingly, a lot of these players to fit into his style of defense. There's a definite conversation to be had, and probably even a likelihood, if Dave Canales returns next year, that there will be big changes to his coaching staff beneath him and the assistant coaches, and I would assume Evero would be part of that. If that happens before the end of the year, if it happens before the end of the season, I do think that would be a pretty good indicator that Dave Canales is fearing for his own job security and has to start seeming busy. Has to grab a broom just to try to get out of that extra week of grounding. Like he's trying to do something to show something is being done.
If they have a bad game, even defensively, they get blown out against Miami this coming weekend, and then even Dallas the week after that, both at home. At some point, you have to challenge your status quo, because right now it's just not good enough. And again, as I said earlier, Evero's the most expendable. He really is. His contract is up at the end of this season. Dave Canales didn't hire him. He retained him. He's the most expendable guy. And you have someone on the defensive staff in Todd Wash, the defensive line coach, who was a defensive coordinator with Jacksonville for about 5-6 years, actually when Jacksonville was decent in the late 2010s. So they have someone with play calling experience already on that defensive staff. So if they wanted to make a move, there's a contingency plan already built in place on that team.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm saying I don't think because he's the most expendable is, like, to me that's the cart leading the horse, right? You should lean into what part of our team is playing the worst and make the changes there, rather than what part of our team could we change and it's kind of the least friction. Like I like avoiding friction isn't the way. Like I think the defense is playing better than the offense right now.
Yeah, but the defense still isn't playing great.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
But if you're looking for the place where the most improvement is possible, I think it's on the offense.
Well, Dave ain't firing himself.
That's my point exactly.
Yeah.
So if you're starting to make changes and you're going with, well, him because he's the most expendable, it's the wrong part of the equation is leading, right? The wrong part of, like, I mean, honestly, this past week, special teams would have been the thing that you should really lean into. But that's probably not moving the needle enough. It's when and we saw it with Frank Reich, right? Frank Reich started changing play callers and stuff, and I was going, wow, first year, he's already doing that. Well, it turns out the writing was on the wall, and there were weird conversations, kind of the Game of Thrones handling behind the scenes and people talking to people, and I'm sure he felt like, oh, we got to start doing something or else I'm gonna lose my job here, which is why he was so frantic the last 6 weeks that Frank Reich was the head coach until he was fired, whatever that was, week 11. If we start to see similar frantic stuff, or even maybe not that level, but some frantic stuff happening, I would imagine that Dave Canales is feeling a similar way. It's the kind of fired man walking feeling going on, and he's grasping at straws to make it happen. Make something happen that could be pointed to as reason to keep me. I'll use Brian Daboll as another example. Brian Daboll, head coach of the Giants, Joe Shane, GM of the Giants, I believe they came into this season on the hot seat.
Oh, yeah.
They started with Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson threw for 450 yards against the Cowboys. 9 days later, they benched him for Jackson Dart, that is. their first-round draft pick. Go watch the mic'd up later on tonight when you have time of Brian Daboll on the sidelines. When Jackson Dart scored the first touchdown, that rushing touchdown, Brian Daboll gave one of the he made a Tiger Woods 2004 fist pump look like a toddler did it. It was one of the bigger celebrations, and he screamed to anybody that would listen, "That's our guy," or "We got our guy." It was something along those lines. And my first thought went, oh, he thinks Jackson Dart is going to save his job, right? He thinks Jackson Dart is the change that he can point to his bosses to say, see, I made a change and it worked. I know what I'm doing. If Dart starts playing like trash, I would imagine a defensive coordinator might be head on the chopping block in the Giants, or some other assistant, something they could change, because you got to keep trying, or else your boss is going to go, you're just doing the same stuff and expecting different results. And the Panthers don't have a Jackson Dart to put in. They don't have that, great backup quarterback hope to throw in there and point to. So defensive coordinator might be the first move of, I'm hearing the Jaws soundtrack here. And I don't want to know what happens when that dun-dun gets too close together and I get bit by a shark. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, obviously metaphorically. We have the ladder challenge coming up. We have a blind ranking, which is one of my favorite segments of the week, and more. Don't go anywhere.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
This is your year if you're Buffalo. This is your year. The competition in the AFC in terms of number of great teams is less than it feels like it's been. You have to take advantage of it.
I'm looking around the landscape of the AFC, and every single team has major questions with the exception of the Buffalo Bills.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Tim, I'm receiving an important update.
Ooh, are you getting night vision?
No, I just found out you could get $200 with Navy Federal Credit Union when you refinance your auto loans from another lender.
So, no night vision?
No night vision.
Learn more at NavyFederal.org/autoloans. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA. Credit and collateral subject to approval. Refinance loan must be at least $5,000 to be eligible for the $200. Terms and conditions apply.
It's bow time. Fumble in the food on game day? Rookie move. But Bo can make your tailgate a winner, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Because the Carolina Legend has everything you're craving. We're talking crispy, juicy chicken loaded with real Southern flavor, fluffy, scratch-made buttermilk biscuits, and all the fixins to feed your whole crew faster than you can say touchdown. Be the MVP this season and let Bojangles do the cooking. Order your tailgate today. It's bow time.
Planning a tailgate? Then it's bow time. Bojangles has everything you need for the perfect tailgate, no matter how many fans you're trying to feed. There's the original tailgate, the super tailgate, and for a really big crowd, the jumbo tailgate special. And if you like your chicken off the bone, choose the Supreme's tailgate special that includes 12 perfectly seasoned tenderloin fillets. So grab the tickets, get that Bojangles tailgate special, and go. It's bow time.
Happy anniversary, RTP. At Lenovo, we're proudly celebrating 20 years of calling the Triangle home. That's 2 decades of empowering future innovators through our local partnerships and championing smarter technology for all. And we're just getting started.
Snap Bailey, wide side of the field, rips it, caught, touchdown! 13 yards to the far side of the end zone. Fireworks flying, Carter Finley, Keenan Jackson underneath it for the haul.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, with a NC State football highlight coming out of break. I'll remind you, Pack Therapy, the podcast, new episode recorded today. Myself and Mike Glennon, former NC State quarterback, longtime NFL quarterback, talking state football, which obviously had some real honest conversations this week. So if you want to hear that, our YouTube channel, 99.9 The Fan, subscribe while you're there. We are nearing 20,000 subscribers, which is pretty awesome, and we will celebrate when we reach 20,000 with giveaways and things of that nature. So check it out on YouTube. You can also listen to it on the app, 99.9 The Fan. Download it. Five-star reviews, please. But anyway, little state football for you if you're looking for more of that. And Mike will be joining the show here talk Bryce Young and a little bit of State as well at about 4:45, so don't miss that. In the meantime, how about a little ladder challenge starting off the month of October?
Oh, my God! And for the 20-foot ladder with a spear on Jeff Hardy. For the love of God, Jeff Hardy may be broken. Smack dab in half.
All right, everybody, you're going to have to indulge me for a second here. There are a few things that, like, I know other people don't care about, and I got to always put the guardrails up on the show because, you know, I can go down these rabbit holes. Nobody cares about the fishing stories you have. Nobody cares about your fantasy football team. No one cares about your bad beats and bets. They just sit there. They might politely listen, but nobody really cares. I did not win the ladder challenge in September. I had one wrong bet the entire month. I was however many we did and won, and I fell behind. Like, I lost by like $20, $30, something like that. I lost by a bunch, which just goes to show, this is now me complaining about a game I created. This game is flawed. It is not the way it should be. Whoever made it is a dummy. And yes, I'm the one that created it. So with that being said, congratulations, Dennis.
Yes, I would like to congratulate myself as I continue to hoist the trophy. In the 11 months of the ladder challenge, I've held this trophy 8 times. 8-3.
It's a flawed game, but congrats.
Game that you created, I just happen to be better at it.
It is true. It is true. So, right, you watch the film, you get better?
Yeah, self-scout there, bud.
October starts, I can't have the one mistake. I have to be perfect.
You know, I had one mistake last month, too. It just happened to be at the very beginning of the month.
Can't afford any mistakes. Got to demand perfection in every aspect of the game. Perfect. With that being said, you are the defending champ. As we start over with $10, you get to lead us off.
That I do. So I'm actually going to go back.
There's only one place to go today. I was like looking for other bets. I couldn't find any.
Oh yeah, I guess baseball.
Yeah.
I guess no WNBA today.
I don't believe so.
Not that I would know anything to do with it when it comes to a WNBA bet.
I know there's some drama going on who deserves what money. There's
some of that too going around. That's for darn sure. I'm actually going to go with a little bit of Major League Baseball here, and I'm actually going to go back to my good friends over at the Dodgers and the Cincinnati Reds. So the Dodgers at home, game 2 of that series. Their starting pitcher for the Cincinnati Reds, Zach Littell, I haven't given up at least one earned run today. One earned run, that's a minus 582, so my $10 will turn into $11.71.
I am also looking towards baseball, though not the Dodgers this time.
Okay.
I'm looking at Red Sox Yankees.
All right.
The Yankees are down 0-1. Which means it's unload the clip time, right? Smoke them if you got them.
Mm-hmm.
Save nothing. No gas in the tank. I think the Yankees will score at least 2 runs. I'm looking for over 1.5 runs scored by the Yankees versus Boston. It's a minus 750 bet, which would take my $10 to 1133 to start this week off, or start this month off, and the middle of the week off with perfection. We're going perfect this month. That's the goal. That's the theme here. Perfection.
I like it. I take it. I respect it.
That's what we're going for. So, give me the Yankees to score at least 2.
I hope a lot of these series all go to 3 games.
It would be fun.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Winner take all games tomorrow.
The only thing I don't like about it is you used to have to earn a winner goes on, loser goes home game, right? You used to have to go back and forth and burn your bullpens and get to the end of either a 5 or a 7-game series. The 7-game series were always better. Like, oh, you won one, I won one. Now we get the most exciting thing in baseball. It just, I don't know, you didn't earn it. It's the same thing with the NBA play-in, where it's like, wait, you're telling me LeBron gets to build his legacy in a closeout game and he didn't have to get to game 7 to do it? He just gets to be the 8 seed? Like, that's all it took? Like, I don't like any of that. I think game 7s should be reserved for at the end of 7-game series. But with that being said, it's better to have like an awesome game 3 than a boring game 2. So I guess give me the game 3s if you need it. If you got to get in and do something. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That's the ladder challenge starting off for the month of October. let's jump into a ladder challenge.
That was the ladder challenge.
I mean, let's jump into a blind ranking. You knew what I meant.
Did I?
They did. I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to us. They're way ahead of both of us.
All right, so this blind ranking, because we're basically a quarter of the way through the NFL season. Let's go and call it away. We're a quarter way through the NFL season. We got bye weeks coming up for some teams in the NFL. So now that we're a quarter way through the season, Tim, we're going to blind rank NFL teams.
All right.
Simple as this.
All right.
I'm going to give you one team at a time. You have to slot them in, blindly ranking them 1 through 5 based on the teams that I give you.
By the way, I just to clear this up, I always just let everybody know how I'm interpreting the category. I'm putting best teams 1, worst teams 5, not like most likely to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Because obviously NFC teams don't have to go through the gauntlet of the AFC, so they might be more likely to win a Super Bowl. I'm not doing that. I'm imagining you're playing one-on-one, which team is better, which team's more likely to win in like a game. That's what I'm doing.
Okay, so yeah, just rank you the teams through 4 weeks of the season. Let's start off. First team, the Jacksonville Jaguars. 3-1 on the season, including a big season opening win, 26-10 over the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah, that's a big win.
Yeah, I know.
Can't be good without that. I'm putting them 4.
Okay.
And I think there is a small element of House of Cards going on there.
Yeah.
Liam Cohen, their coach, I think is a good offensive mind. Don't get me wrong. I feel like he's on tilt. He's like, I don't know. He's running a little hot right now. He tried to, he yelled at Robert Saleh, keep my name out your bleeping mouth. He's weird, like Travis Hunter. What's going on there? He played like no snaps at some point in time. He's supposed to be playing snaps on both sides of the ball. Brian Thomas Jr., they can't figure out how to get him to I don't know, catch a pass. And I'm only kind of joking there. I do think the running game is obviously looking strong with Etienne, and Bashal Tutin looks like a pretty good pick as their backup running back. I'm wondering if Cohen doesn't have almost like a snap moment or something where the season goes off the rails. He seems very high strung is what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
He's looking for fights and stuff. So they're 3-1. I would not be afraid to play them if my favorite team was lining up against them this week.
All right, so Jacksonville Jaguars, the first team that I give you. You slot them in at number 4. The next team on the blind ranking of NFL teams so far the 2025 season is the Green Bay Packers. A record of 2-1-1 on the year. An epic tie the other night.
Yeah, I'm putting them number 1.
Really?
Yeah, I'm high on the Green Bay Packers.
Okay.
And I think they're going to get better as the season goes along. They're dealing with some injuries at the wide receiver spot, dealing with an injury to a backup running back who nobody cares about on my fantasy team. I hope Marshawn Lloyd turns into something. Also, Micah Parsons is only going to get better in that defense. And he's only he was on a little bit of a snap count early on. They're just going to get better and better. I don't think they're the best team in the NFL, but I think percentage-wise, they're near the top enough that I won't feel bad about putting them number 1. I think they have they were my pick preseason to make it to the Super Bowl out of the NFC. That was not because, the NFC is easy. It's because I'm high on what the Packers are bringing to the table. So, and then they went all in for Micah. So give me the Packers number 1.
Okay, next one on this list, the Baltimore Ravens. 1-3 on the year with a myriad of injuries.
I'm putting them number 3.
Okay.
I think they are going to end up a team that is on the playoff bubble, but nobody wants to see in the postseason.
For sure.
They are below 500. They are dealing with a ton of injuries, including potentially Lamar Jackson. He's trying to play this week. I don't see why he would. It's a hamstring injury. He's an explosive player. Lamar Jackson at 70% now is not nearly as important as Lamar Jackson at 100% for like the last 10 games of the year. So here's my prediction for how the Ravens season is going to go. Lamar, his winning percentage as a starting quarterback in the NFL is too high. He covers up too many holes in a team. Once he comes back, if he comes back healthy, I assume after the bye, he's going to go on a rampage. They're going to win enough to squeak into the playoffs, and then as like the lowest seed. They'll probably lose to the Chiefs, and then people will say Lamar can't win the big one. So that's how it's going to go. But I think the injuries are killing their defense enough that I can't put them higher than third.
All right, so first team I gave you was the Jacksonville Jaguars. You slotted them in at number 4 in the blind ranking. Then I gave you Green Bay. You put them at number 1. Then the Baltimore Ravens, you slotted in at number 3, which means you only have positions 2 and 5 available on your blind ranking, Tim. The next team on that list is the Pittsburgh Steelers.
This is going to be mean, but they can't be. They're better than the Ravens right now, but I don't see them as a better roster than the Ravens. Which means I have to put the Steelers at 5.
Oh, 5, okay.
I have to put the Steelers at 5. There is an element there as well of how sustainable are certain things.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Rodgers is still doing some of the old man Aaron Rodgers things, getting rid of the ball a little maybe too quick, but it's working because DK Metcalf is catching it and running 80 yards to the house.
Yeah, that helps.
TJ Watt made a ridiculous interception, which, by the way, that's such a weird thing for one family to be like otherworldly at. And like JJ and TJ Watt getting their hands in the passing lanes as edge rushers or interior rushers, and then not only like knocking down a ton of passes, but somehow weirdly catching them straight monkey in the middle style when you're like equidistant between the receiver and the quarterback. It's such a weird thing to be like genetically great at. The play that TJ Watt made, where he jumps up just trying to get his hand in the passing lane and then comes away with an interception and is suddenly returning it like he's a punt returner. For 99% of like good defensive linemen, it's like the coolest play they make of their entire career. And for the Watts, it's like, yeah, we've done that 14 times in our career between the two of us. It's absurd. So it could happen again, but I don't know how many times that kind of crazy play will happen. They're gonna win 8 or 9 games. They're the Steelers. They're going to win 8.
Oh, they're going to be above 500.
Okay, then 9 games.
Yeah.
But like, I don't see them winning 11 by any stretch. So I don't see the Jaguars doing it either, and probably not the Ravens. So I think all 3 of them are very close together by the end of the season.
Okay, so we have first team I gave you Jacksonville. You put them at number 4. The next team I gave you Green Bay. You put them at number 1. Then the Baltimore Ravens, you slotted in at number 3. The Pittsburgh Steelers, you put at position number 5 in your blind ranking, means only number 2 is available for the Carolina Panthers.
You know, you lulled me to sleep on that one.
What do you mean I lulled you to sleep?
I'm not blaming you. This is the game. But for like, I would say we've been doing the blind ranking now for a couple months, something like that.
Yeah,
now.
Close to it.
The first couple I was assuming, like in my strategy, that like the headliner would be there, right? Like if we're doing ACC quarterbacks or something, I was assuming like, all right, he's probably going to give me Bailey and Mensah, so let me save spots for where I think Bailey and Mensah would be. And I'm not using that as a specific example. I'm using that as a hypothetical one. I was always saving it for like, all right, this is, the obvious one will be there. And then I got burned a few times because you didn't give me the Panthers, or you didn't give me, like we're ranking Canes and you didn't give me Sebastian Aho or whatever it is. So now I was kind of assuming like, there's a good chance he's not going to give me the Panthers. And then I saved number 2 rather than number 5. And the Carolina Panthers popped up.
So look at that. You have the Carolina Panthers as a better team than the Baltimore Ravens, Jacksonville Jaguars, and the Pittsburgh Steelers, Tim. You are very high on this squad.
I'm just going to change the criteria that I was going with. Yeah, I can do whatever I want.
Yeah.
I was obviously picking teams based on uniforms. Max, actually, I like the Panthers uniforms. I'd be okay with that.
The processed blue ones, of course.
Yeah, or the black helmets are pretty sweet.
The black helmets, blue jerseys, black pants.
Pretty sweet.
I like those.
The Steelers, their logo is weird. Why is it only on one part of their helmet?
Because it's tradition, and they didn't have the money for 2 stickers back in the day. That's the reason why. Now it's iconic, Tim.
I actually do like this. I'm just coming up with reasons to not make that look like an awful, awful blind ranking, which is exactly what it was. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Let's move on from that one and scrub it from the internet.
Lives forever on our YouTube page.
Good luck, everybody. Normally, I'm like, go subscribe to the YouTube. Okay, go subscribe to the YouTube. You don't have to watch that particular video.
Which, by the way, we're close to 20,000 subscribers, by the way, on our YouTube page.
And
so
we
subscribe
do have,
there, please.
We do have a pretty awesome giveaway planned, kind of contest for if and or when. Actually, we'll just say when. For when we reach 20,000 subscribers. So the faster you get there, the faster you find out what the cool giveaway is. And it's definitely one you want. Drive it, Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Let's jump into what do we have? Oh, we got Hit It and Quit It next. Let's do it.
I want you to hit it.
All right, I'll start us off. First topic we're going to hit here. Feel free to mix up the order of what's in there because I'm mixing it up. Dillon Gabriel has been announced as the starter for the Cleveland Browns. There's two parts here that I want to address. First of all, valiant effort by Joe Flacco. Shout out to the Blue Hens. If this is the end for Flacco, if he actually does hang it up after a long and storied and Rookie of the Year / Super Bowl MVP career, he represented the Blue Hens well. Secondly, Dennis, did you see, and I know you did, but I don't know how to bring this up. Did you see Shedeur Sanders today?
Unfortunately, yeah.
Dillon Gabriel named the starter. Obviously, that means reporters are going to go talk to Shedeur Sanders, right? His draft mate, classmate, Dillon Gabriel is now the starter. They go to Shedeur Sanders. And he went with, and I can't emphasize this enough, one of the weirdest decisions I've ever seen a player make when interacting with the media. He went full mime. He moved his mouth as if he were talking. He may have been actually like mouthing words. I couldn't tell. I'm not a lip reader. But he moved his mouth and didn't say anything. Like there was no sound. It was as if he was like you were watching a TV on mute. What a weird decision. I don't even want to say it's a bad decision, although I think it's a bad decision. I want to know how that even pops into your brain.
Make it make sense.
What led you to, all right, I'm going to have to answer some questions. I'm going to have to be team player, which every athlete has been in, right? You're going to have a tough press conference. It's going to stink for 10 minutes, and then you're going to be able to move on. And you go out there with, all right, I'm going to coach speak it, right? I'm going to, Dillon's a great player. I'm excited for him. I will always prepare as if I'm a starter, whether the coach puts me in that situation or not. Want to make sure I'm ready. Instead, he went with, no, I'm just going to mime an answer and not say anything. What? Which, by the way, do you know what backup quarterbacks are always doing?
What's that?
They're auditioning for their next job. Auditioning for your next job. And a backup quarterback, ask Chase Daniel, ask Colt McCoy, ask Mike Glennon, who's going to be on the show in a little bit. Guys that have hung around in the league as backups, you have to be good in the room. You have to be somebody that the starter wants to have around. You have to help. You have to be selfless. And I'm not saying Shedeur shouldn't be aspiring to being a starter. He should. Absolutely. Chase your dreams. You're a 5th-round pick. No coach wants to get up to their media and go, Coach, first question right here. First question right here. Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. So Shedeur Sanders mimed all of his answers to the media earlier today. What's your reaction to that? They're going, our 5th-round, 3rd-string quarterback mimed his answers to the media today? Great. That's what I want. That's what I want my media to be about. I don't want to be talking about how excited I am for Dillon Gabriel's opportunity. I don't want to be talking about Quinshon Judkins and how he's emerged as one of the best rookie running backs. I don't want to talk about Cedric Tillman. He's going on IR, and that's going to be a real blow to us. I'm a big fan of Cedric Tillman. I don't want to talk about any of that. Myles Garrett. Ask me a question about Myles Garrett. He's one of the best defensive players in the league. No, let's talk about our 3rd-string quarterback miming answers to the – what are we doing here? Dennis, anything you'd like to add?
No.
I was really hoping there you would have just said nothing and moved your mouth as if you were talking. I would have had to then explain it. That's how ridiculous the situation has gotten. I would have had to give play-by-play of Dennis fake talking to land the joke about Shedeur Sanders fake talking. And I'm going to get ahead of it because I know Jacina Anderson and a few others always said it. This is not anti-Shador. If Patrick Mahomes, if Josh Allen would have mimed answers through a press conference or a media availability, I would be right here saying the exact same thing. I promise you that. Take my word for it. Let's quit that. Let's hit this.
Let's actually go to a little Canes news and notes here. Real fast, Carolina Hurricanes. Tyson Jost was claimed off waivers as the Canes were trying to send him down to the Chicago Wolves of the American Hockey League. He was claimed off waivers by the Nashville Predators, whom, by the way, the Canes wrap up their preseason this Saturday with on the road in Nashville. Maybe Tyson Jost just takes the plane with the Canes and just gets dropped off. Maybe that's the case.
That happens in baseball sometimes. You're traded like within a series, and you just grab your stuff from your locker room and walk to the other side.
Walk right to the other one. But nonetheless, Tyson Jost, who's was up and down with Chicago, got called up when needed when there were some guys that were injured. But nonetheless, Tyson Jost no longer in the Canes organization. Is going to be a Nashville Predator. And I know some people in our YouTube live chat are wondering, does this have an impact on Bradley Nadeau? Because if there's a call-up needed, who's the first person? I actually say, no, it doesn't impact Bradley Nadeau at all, because Bradley Nadeau will get called up if you see a guy that's in the top 6, for example, maybe a Jackson Blake or a Seth Jarvis or somebody goes down. You want someone with that skill set that can play up there. That's what Bradley Nadeau can do. But if someone that's, for example, William Carrier gets hurt, remember, that's where Tyson Jost gets called up.
First of all, Tyson Jost, 26 years old.
Former first-round pick.
Almost 500 games played in the NHL.
He's played a bunch.
Made his debut at age 18 with Colorado back in the 2016-2017 season. He had 9 points, 4 goals, 5 assists this past year, played in 39 games for Carolina. They are in different categories, Bradley Nadeau and Tyson Jost. It's very much like if the starting running back gets hurt, and you have a pass-catching back and a more like first-down back, they're not competing with each other. Like it's what do you need? What roles are you bringing in? Bradley Nadeau, higher ceiling, younger, less experienced. You're not going to be as comfortable with him out there, but you're not going to be as excited as you would be with Bradley Nadeau as you would for Tyson Jost. They're not in. Their skill sets are different. Where they are in their career is different. Why you would bring them up to the big league club is different. My takeaway from this is NHL experience is attractive across the league. If you've played in hundreds of games, that is inherently something teams are going to want. And actually, in the Bradley Nadeau, I do think you can kind of transition that thought a little bit to where the Carriers, the Robinsons, some of these other guys that are going to start the year at the big league club, and people want Bradley Nadeau there over them, you can think Bradley Nadeau is more physically talented, more physically gifted. If they have the NHL experience, that's going to be attractive in certain roles above can they do the SportsCenter top 10 highlight goal. So there's lots to take into account. Tyson Jost, obviously, if somebody's claiming you, they want you the highest level. So happy to see him. I like Jost. I think he's kind of a good guy to watch. You like him. I don't think his ceiling is super duper high as a producer, but yeah, if he's playing minutes with Nashville, and good for Jost.
Yeah, understood his role.
Yeah.
Knew what was asked of him.
And if you understand your role and do what's asked of you, there's a long NHL career right there waiting for you if you can do just that consistently.
And Ryan Suzuki unclaimed.
That felt personal.
I'm just letting you know that he and Josiah Slavin, Noel Gunler, Gavin Bay-Ruther unclaimed, so they can go to Chicago.
So what you're saying is Ryan Suzuki, every NHL team had the chance to put in a claim, and bring him to their squad.
Yep.
And they chose not to. By the way, if you think we're being mean to Ryan Suzuki, we're not.
We're not.
I would never. I actually like Ryan Suzuki. I think for what he is, depth at the AHL level and can help guys develop there, he's really good. But there's one listener, shout out, what's his name? Ely? Shout out to Ely, who just routinely tells us that we're fools. I don't know if he uses that word, for not expecting Ryan Suzuki to be Kane, like a leading scoring Kane. So our opinions being backed up a little bit by the NHL there. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That was a quick hit it and quit it, but we got to move on because Dennis has something he'd like to tell you.
I do. Dennis Cox here from my good friends over at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. I stepped on the scale this morning, actually, and I was actually surprised at the number in a good way. I hit the 40-pound weight loss mark. I actually hit that this morning. And I was actually surprised by it because I've been with Raleigh Weight Loss Center and their program for just over 2 months now. It's about 9 weeks. I've been with the program at Raleigh Weight Loss Center, and I know it's something I said before, but I can't emphasize enough at Raleigh Weight Loss Center that their program is to not only reach the target weight and to reach a goal, but they want you to maintain it as well. I actually had an appointment with them last week, and we started discussing, hey, when you reach that weight loss goal, Dennis, here's how you're going to keep it. Here's what you will need to do the first 3 days, the first week, the first month, the first 2 months, laying out that plan. And I think that's the thing that people want when it comes to their weight loss journey. They just want to have a plan. And that's what Raleigh Weight Loss Center gives you. They give you the plan. They say, hey, if you follow this, you can potentially reach your goals. Again, results are going to vary for each person, but if you stick with the plan, you're going to see results. I've lost nearly 14% of my body weight since I started the weight loss journey. 14% of my body weight with Raleigh Weight Loss Center. That's how much I've lost so far. That is not on-air math for you. I made sure I did that beforehand. But that's the goal at Raleigh Weight Loss Center, is to not only lose the weight, but maintain that lost weight as well. And if you have any questions or concerns, you're not doing shots, no injections, or no other side effects or anything along those lines. But if you do have questions or concerns, set up a free 15-minute phone call with Raleigh Weight Loss Center. Just give them a call, 919-897-7506. Again, 919-897-7506. Or visit RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. Schedule your free 15-minute phone call to learn more. Ask any questions that you have. Determine if it's the right thing for your needs. Again, 919-897-7506. Or visit RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. Set up that free 15-minute consultation. Results may vary.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Earlier today, I caught up with Mike Glennon, 10-year NFL veteran, NC State legend, to talk Bryce Young's development and, of course, his NC State Wolfpack. First question I asked, how long does a quarterback get before you know? Hear Mike's answer coming up next.
Hey, it's Adam Golden. As the Carolina Hurricanes shoot for their 8th consecutive playoff appearance. That's right, 8 in a row. That's not the goal, I should remind you. The goal is being, as Rod Brindamore likes to say, the last team standing. What do they need? Who will get them there? You know where you can find the answers on every episode of the Canes Corner podcast, live on YouTube after games, and wherever you get your podcast. Rate, subscribe, like, share, tell your friends.
Hey, it's Brian from McDonald's. And if you're like me, you're a don't talk to me until I get my cup of coffee person. Sarah knows that very well. That's why I treat myself to McDonald's. And right now, you can grab any sized iced coffee for just $1. Maybe you need something extra. Go for a hot or iced mocha, latte, or macchiato for $2. And if you're really feeling fancy, for $3, you can get a caramel or mocha frappe. Easy as 1, 2, 3. $1, $2, $3. Any size, every morning, during breakfast hours only. Price and participation may vary, cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying. Just beautiful.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
Welcome home, where life happens. At Baker Home Exteriors, we bring Baker Roofing's century of excellence to your doorstep. From roofing and siding to gutters and more, we transform houses into dream homes. Visit BakerHomeExteriors.com and let's build something beautiful together.
Bryce takes the bell tie snap. Looking left, throws, back left corner of the end zone. Caught for a touchdown. Tommy Tremble brings it in.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan is excited for our weekly check-in with longtime NFL quarterback, NC State legend Mike Glennon, joining us in studio. He's also my co-host on the Pack Therapy podcast. New episode, check that out. Everywhere podcasts can be found, our 99.9 The Fan app, 99.9 The Fan on YouTube. all of those things. We bring Mike on to check in about his Wolfpack. We bring Mike on to give us insight into what it's like to be an NFL quarterback. But today we have another reason to hear from Mike, and that's a more serious reason. There's I believe, a memorial golf tournament for Grayson Murray. Local guy, ended up on the PGA Tour winner, one of the best golfers in the world. Tragically lost his life not too long ago, and there's an event coming up that you will be in attendance for?
Yeah, so Grayson was actually my neighbor a few years ago, so I got to know him, and ironically it was the time of COVID. So he lived a couple doors down, and we spent a good amount of time during the kind of COVID isolation, and kind of funny story while we're talking football. Grayson could throw and catch a football really good. Like, you see some of these guys on tour. I feel like I saw JT throw a ball the other day, and I'm like, ugh, that's kind of ugly. That made me feel better about my golf swing. Grayson had soft hands. He could throw a ball. He could shoot a basketball. Good all-around athlete. But anyway, yeah, so Grayson, there will be a golf tournament at Raleigh Country Club on Monday, and to raise money for mental health and his new foundation, the Grayson Murray Foundation. I'll be playing. I know a couple of hockey players, Justin Williams, Cam Ward, Eric Cole, and I actually think Brooks Koepka is going to be there, which is pretty cool to see that Brooks will be coming up to here. And Grayson was a great guy to me. Loved spending our time together, and obviously that day is a day that I'll probably never forget. When you get that call, when you find out where you are. Tough to hear, but I'm glad that his family is trying to do something to have a positive impact on a tragedy. So hopefully we'll raise a lot of money for mental health, and so someone else doesn't have to go through what he battled.
Grayson Murray Foundation is the benefactor?
Grayson Murray Foundation, yes.
So if you're interested in giving and you want to be a part, you can look it up, right? Grayson Murray Foundation. It's not hard to remember. No easy transition here, so we I always say just kind of plow along. We're going to jump to sports, which you just heard. Grayson Murray, apparently quite the athlete, which makes sense, right? Ball striker. Let's move towards the football side of things. Here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, joined by Mike Glennon. There's a lot of uncomfortable conversations happening this week. Coaches' jobs, quarterbacks' positions. So obviously this is tailored towards Bryce Young in his third year. What's the time? How much do you need to give a quarterback before you think he does or he doesn't have it, or even the fit, right? Because even if Bryce Young doesn't work here, maybe he works elsewhere. But when do you know it's not going to work with Carolina?
I think now.
Yeah.
I think he showed some hope at the end of last season, and he was playing good football. I think really from the moment they probably drafted him, I saw some physical limitations, just arm strength. I think at his height, at the way the ball kind of comes out of his hands, you have to be unreal accurate and play with unreal anticipation. And he has good accuracy. I think he has good as anticipation. He just doesn't have what makes up for the lack of arm strength. And he's a good athlete, but he doesn't have enough to just make up for some of those physical, restrictions that he has. So I think he had to come out in this first month of the season playing really good football, and he just hasn't. I mean, I'm not saying he's playing terrible, but he just isn't playing well enough that I think they probably know the answer, that they'll be in the market for a quarterback next year.
I've said this about him a few times. I think, and I know from our conversations off air that you are as frustrated by it as I am. I think he is a victim of pre-draft comps, because, and I think like Zach Wilson was this way, where, Bryce is short and he's accurate. He's Drew Brees. Or Zach Wilson, it was, he throws off platform. Yeah. He's Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, or Aaron Rodgers.
It would have been pre-Mahomes era. That would have been the Aaron Rodgers. When in actuality, like, there aren't Drew Brees. Right. There aren't two of them, right? Like, and to do that, you have to be the alien at what Drew Brees was an alien at, which is accuracy and anticipation and all those things. It's just tough to do. Being an NFL quarterback is really, really gosh darn difficult, and not working on a bad team isn't the biggest insult. With that being said, you ride it out, correct? There's no reason to go Andy Dalton.
No, I don't see any reason to do that. You're 1-3. Like, realistically, you're not a playoff team. Like, so ride it out, and maybe he gets better. And I'm not saying Bryce Young is a terrible quarterback. There's, to me, roughly, 16 or so true franchise quarterbacks. And if you're not one of those 16 guys, your team's probably moving on for you. I think he's probably in the latter half of, 25 to 32, and maybe he realistically is closer to, 35. But that's just the nature of the beast. And teams are constantly drafting quarterbacks in the first round, and statistics show about half of them don't work. So it's unfortunate that it hasn't worked out for him. They did not put the best – he did not walk into a great situation by any means. But at the end of the day, I just think physically he's limited to be a true franchise quarterback.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, joined in studio here by Mike Glennon. Last question on the Bryce stuff. How many guys, right, if there are 16, and that's a rough estimate, right, you're just looking at it and kind of slicing the pie in half. If there are 16 franchise quarterbacks out there, how many of those, and I think this number is very low, just to let you know where I stand, can walk into like a truly moribund franchise, a franchise that is dysfunctional, struggling, hasn't had success in a long time, and turn it around? Because like it's one thing for for you to be able to walk into a team that's pretty solid, like a Jordan Love situation, right, where it's like the Packers are pretty good, they got a pretty good coach, they're already a winning team, and he can play his way into winning. Meanwhile, it's another to do what like Cam Newton did in Carolina or Joe Burrow did in Cincy, where you walk into a bad franchise and pretty much through sheer force of personality and talent just change it in a day.
Yeah, I think there's probably 5 or so that can turn you into a true Super Bowl contender.
Yeah.
I think there's another 5 to, I don't know, call it 10 that can turn your you can become a playoff caliber team. And I guess the easiest way to answer that question would be, where do you rank Baker and Sam Darnold? Because wherever that line is below it, because clearly they couldn't turn the Panthers around.
That's hilarious that you use that. I used to say, the Mendoza line in baseball, it's batting 200, and it used to be, right, obviously pre-analytics. If you're batting below 200, bad hitter. If you're batting above 200, as long as you're a good defensive player and good base runner, like, Major League Baseball player. I used to say for paying a quarterback, it was the Baker Mayfield line. Like, if you were better than Baker, you probably reset the market, because every quarterback does. If you were worse than Baker, you probably got moved on from. And Baker, at the end in Cleveland, was like right on the line. Like, he was the decision. Obviously now he's above the Baker line, so I have to find a new quarterback for it. But it is like, I think that was that where that line is in the league. I think there's less guys above it than most people think.
Yeah, it's an incredibly hard position. The turnover rate is super high, and you can be a franchise quarterback and not even end up on the same team again. I mean, look at Jared Goff. Jared Goff is a franchise quarterback without a doubt. And the Rams moved on from him. So it is very hard to stay with a team for a decade plus. I mean, who are we talking in the entire league? We're talking Josh Allen, Mahomes, Burrow,
Lamar.
Well, Lamar, Dak. I mean, Dak is in that group, but you're under 10.
Yeah.
And there's probably another 5 to 10 that bounce around as a kind of franchise quarterback, and then the bottom 10 you're kind of constantly trying to replace.
Last question about the Panthers. How much does the owner actually matter? Because the stat that's going around right now is the Panthers are 37-83 since Tepper took over in 2018. Only team worse, the Jets, and they're one game worse. They're 36-84.
It definitely matters. I mean, look at the Redskins or Commanders. Look what I mean. I think it's all about hiring the right coaches and doing all of that. I think it almost seems like some owners have no impact, some help, and then there's a couple that hurt. And it almost seems like he's in the group that is hurting it. So it's almost like just step back and let someone else do it. And those are the organizations that the owner is not super involved at all. But you just don't want to be the one that hurt. Obviously, you want the one that helps it, but you don't want to be the one that hurts it.
I think it's surprisingly easy as an owner to be in the middle group that is like zero emissions. You don't help or hurt. You can just kind of get out of the way. I think it's kind of difficult to be in the helping category.
Right. There's not many of them, but there's probably a few. It seems like the Eagles
Yep.
So have a good one. And I'm sure there's a few others, but he's the first one that popped in mind. But then there's the Dan Snyders, and that clearly seemed
Woody Johnsons, potentially Dave Teppers. Quickly about your NC State Wolfpack. Tim Donnelly here with Mike Glennon, longtime NFL quarterback and Pack legend. With your interactions, you're out in the fans. You're watching the games out there. Like, did you sense the panic? Is like how rough is it getting?
Yeah, I think fans are not happy, and understandably so. You can't lose at home to a Virginia Tech team that 2 weeks prior fired their coach after losing to ODU. Whatever they did. I remember at one point they were down 28-0. That just can't happen.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have a coach that's been around for a long time, the expectation isn't to go backwards. It's to move forward and get over the hump. So I understand fans' frustrations. To me, at the end of the day, whoever the coach is at NC State needs more resources. And we see what Virginia Tech, they fire their coach, and all of a sudden $50 more million show up to spend. So
per year. Over 4 years.
That's a big deal, and the teams that compete at the highest level are the ones that seem to spend the most. So the money is more important than the coach, and it's about getting the players in, and nowadays that comes with a cost, and so NC State's going to need more money to compete with who they want to compete with.
Interesting. I just want to ask you about the Virginia Tech side of it. The money that was approved, it's the 4 years, $229 million in a additional funds to the athletic. It was just to the athletic program. It was just approved earlier this week. That's not coming from the fans. That's coming from the school, and the vote was passed 13-1. The one negative vote, the one nay, said it was because they were against the increase in student fees, where the students, part of their tuition is going to
go up.
That
was going to be my next question. It's like, where did $50 million show? Why have they not already been doing this? But I guess you just raise admissions.
I mean, it's the student fees, but you got a large enrollment. You throw 10 extra bucks on everybody. it seems like a lot of money gets there quickly. I just, I always want to point out what money is coming from the fans and what money isn't.
Would students pay an extra $1,000 a year to see an ACC championship? I think that's what money well spent.
If you allow them to be headhunting, they give the extra $1,000 and don't get the ACC, that's always the thing, right? It's happening more and more with NIL, with players and everything else. With money comes great expectations, right? Like don't expect to get 14 years like Dave Doran did if you're getting 5 times as much money and not winning anymore. So it becomes a whole different beast. Mike, we appreciate you for joining us. Everybody, check out the Pack Therapy podcast. Once again, that was Mike Glennon joining us here in studio earlier today on The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. When we come back here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan, we get to the starting 5. So we'll see you then.
Move your sports day forward.
Hey, NC State. Hey, Carolina Panthers. It just wasn't meant to be again. It's okay to say you're not okay, but fixing it is not as simple as adding softies to your schedule. There's something broken within your organizations, and without meaningful change, the locker rooms could be lost again.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Are you trapped in a high-rate mortgage, watching your hard-earned money vanish every month? Stop. Right now at Loan Pronto, they are delivering the lowest mortgage rates in 3 years. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Loan Pronto's rate reduction home loan program is a streamlined, low-cost way to slash your house payments by hundreds of dollars a month. Lock in a fixed rate as low as 4.99% APR and close in as little as 2 weeks. No appraisal needed in most cases. And here's the kicker. You can skip your next 2 house payments entirely. Don't wait. Rates this low won't last. Call Loan Pronto now for your free, no-obligation quote. Loan Pronto is amazing. Imagine lower payments, more money in your pocket, and a fresh start with a better mortgage. Call 919-381-1760 or visit loanpronto.com to lock in your new low rate and skip those next 2 payments. Don't let the high rates hold you back. Call 919-381-1760 or go to loanpronto.com right now. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the The FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Turn things all the way up and find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Richie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Richie Law is on top of it. Go to richielaw.com.
That's richielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Kat Campbell. You may want to grab an extra layer tonight. We are cooling down. Overnight, our temperature falls to 53 for the low. Thursday will be in the low 70s for highs during the afternoon with clouds building back in. By Friday, mid-70s return, but so do the clouds.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb and Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 5 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones up 43 points today to 46,411. Market update brought to you by Howard Hanna Allen Tate. Ready to sell your home? Trust the #1 real estate company in the Carolinas, Howard Hanna Allen Tate. Let them show you a real estate experience that is different from all others.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting five.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time for the starting five. But first, please download the app, 99.9 The Fan. Search for it. We gave away a signed Xavier Legette jersey on the app. Right, it was the only way you could win it is by downloading the app and registering. And there's more giveaways like that, including right now. I believe we're giving away college football tickets, NC State and Georgia Tech.
That's right, November 1st.
So the only way you can win those tickets is by downloading the app, registering, doing that whole thing. But the person that won the Xavier Legette jersey, in addition to making us prove that we were real and kind of a funny whole thing, did say that their favorite segment on 99.9 The Fan was the starting five.
See?
See?
Let's go.
So download the app and you can listen to the starting five wherever you want. You can just put us in your pocket as long as you have internet connection, Wi-Fi, whatever, data. You can listen. So check it out, 99.9 The Fan app, available in Google Play, the App Store, wherever you get your apps for your phone. But let's get to his favorite segment of the entire show, the starting five, starting with number 5.
Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So we already addressed the strange reaction by Shedeur Sanders to Dylan Gabriel being named the starter for the Cleveland Browns.
We could leave that one for the birds.
But we I think should talk about Dylan Gabriel is going to be starting for the Cleveland Browns.
There is that, though.
Like the don't miss the forest for the trees here, right? But keep the main thing. Cleveland, Kevin Stefanski is out there. I feel like he's always Kevin Stefanski, the coach of Cleveland. I think he's a really good coach. I think Cleveland puts him in some really tough situations. I don't even remember what show it is. There's a cooking show where they give you like a weird ingredient. It's like, I need you to make a tiramisu, but you have to use hot sauce, mint, and this and
spinach.
And they throw something at you and you got to make it work. I feel like that's the NFL football that Kevin Stefanski is coaching. It's like, all right, you're going to be in a tough division. I need you to coach winning football, and you have to use 7 quarterbacks this year. Go. They just keep throwing. And we're going to trade away everything for a quarterback who is actively dealing with 20-some-odd sexual assault accusations. Go! It's just, he just keeps being thrown all of these ridiculous, all right, we're going to take your draft picks. We're going to use 2 of them on a quarterback. Go! And he's just got to go cook a meal. He's got to go be an NFL coach. We'll see if he can do it. Dylan Gabriel, the next guy to get a shot. Other news coming out of the NFL, just a couple minutes ago, Thursday Night Football for tomorrow, the Niners have ruled out starting quarterback Brock Purdy and both of his top 2 wide receivers, Ricky Pearsall and Juwan Jennings.
Already without Brandon Ayuk as well.
Already without Brandon Ayuk, already without George Kittle.
Yeah.
I believe this means it will be the Mac Jones, who is also banged up, coming back from an injury.
Of course.
Mac Jones to Kendrick Bourne and Demarcus Robinson show.
Yeah.
Who are we kidding? It's Christian McCaffrey to the right, Christian McCaffrey to the left. On this play,
Christian McCaffrey up the middle.
We're going to mix it up. We're going to have Christian McCaffrey go back to the right this time. And they're playing the Rams. They seem to have things cooking. Interesting Thursday Night Football game. In other NFL news, Trey Benson, who was the replacement at running back for the Cardinals for James Conner, who is out with the year with a serious knee injury. Trey Benson going on IR. He'll be out 4 to 6 weeks.
Goodness.
Which might open up an opportunity for a UNC running back, Michael Carter.
That's right. Michael Carter's there now. Forgot about that.
There's a debate going on who will take the bulk of the carries, either Imari DeMarcado or Michael Carter. And it might be one of those situations where DeMarcado was the pass game running back when Trey Benson was there, and his role won't change. Michael Carter will just take over the Trey Benson role, and they'll continue doing that. But Javonte Williams having a bit of a little bounce back season for Dallas. Maybe it's time for Michael Carter to get a little bit of a bounce back, and you're going to have like the 2021 Tar Heels just going like, see? Stars. That's NFL news. Let's get to number 4 in the starting 5.
1, 2, 3, 4 all together.
You have got to be kidding me.
So Bill Belichick was on the coaches show, Tar Heel Live. He actually did it this week. He traditionally has been having Michael Lombardi, the GM, handle that, and Lombardi was also on the show this week. But Bill Belichick did talk. We played a bunch of the audio for you earlier. There's one piece we haven't gotten to yet. Bill Belichick was asked, what is he happiest with so far this season? Obviously talking about his team and his roster. Here's what Bill Belichick answered.
I'd say overall the work ethic, the improvement. We just need to just stay with it. Like I said, it's not going to be easy, but we're getting better, and we keep working hard. We're going to continue to get better, and we just need to, I would say, sustain that. Our communication, again, with a lot of new players, like that's gotten a lot better too. So there's no shortcut to it. There's no magic wand. It's just going to take, stacking a lot of days together over a lot of weeks, and we'll be a better football team in October than we were in September, and we'll be a better team in November than we are in October if we keep, doing those things on a consistent basis.
All right, there's 2 ways to take that answer. One is that's just coach speak, and that's all you're going to get from Bill Belichick ever. The other is, and I bet you weren't anticipating tuning into your sports radio show and getting a Friends reference, right? The sitcom from the late 90s and early 2000s. There was a scene. I don't know why this one popped into my head, but there was a scene in Friends. One of the characters, Joey, is an actor, and he made them watch his show or a play or something. And his friends didn't think it was very good. And there's a moment before Joey gets there where they're all discussing different ways that they can kind of seem like they're complimenting his performance, but not actually, so they don't have to lie to him. And they're going like, okay, you know what I'm going to say? I'm going to say you were on the TV and now you're here. Whoa. Right? And then someone else is saying like, oh, the lighting. Oh, incredible, right? Or Joey, proud of you, right? Like just something that doesn't, like they didn't say, great job, that was an awesome show. but it seems like they kind of would have. So like, they're not doing it as a problem. So you could argue that's what he just did, right? It's like, so what are you most happy about this season? He's like, work ethic, communication, improvement. It's like, you have not said anything that actually pertains to like how you play football. You're just saying words, which could be coach speak, or it could be, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. I'll lean towards coach speak. But I worked in a Friends reference, so for your bingo cards, there you go. That's number 4. Let's hit number 3.
Let's do that hockey.
The Canes. How much do you think it would cost? How many of us would have to pool our money to buy the Carolina Hurricanes from Tom Dundon?
I have $10 in my pocket.
All right. Well, you get together with millions of your friends.
Yeah.
Each throw in $10. The Carolina Hurricanes, according to Sportico, who does this every year, Sportico.com, Sportico, the publication, they look at, I'll just read part of it, right? They look at team revenue, publicly available information and financial records, interviews with those knowledgeable of team finances. 7 sports bankers and lawyers who actively work on NHL transactions, and they put together their best estimate of how much each NHL team is worth. Year over year, the Carolina Hurricanes have increased in value by 49%, going from the 25th highest valued team to the 15th highest valued team. The only team that grew at a higher percentage year over year, the Florida Panthers, who won their 2nd consecutive cup. Pretty good for the Carolina Panthers business side of things.
You mean Carolina Hurricanes?
What did I say? Carolina Panthers? Well, the Panthers might be good at the business side of things.
Yeah,
We're not good at the football side of things. The Canes appear to be good at both.
They are. So actually, since 2022, they actually have had the 2nd highest rise of any other franchise in the entire league since 2022. 212%. The Florida Panthers, 218%.
In 2021, which is 1 year before what you just referenced, the Carolina Hurricanes on this same list were valued at $545 million. That was the 28th highest evaluation of an NHL team out of the 32. $545 million in 2021. 5 years later, roughly, $1.92 billion.
It just goes to show you also as well the health of the league, because you're factoring in local TV and media rights. You also are factoring in, obviously, ticket sales, but also the venue in which you operate. All those things factor in there as well. So there's a lot of things that go into it. And just there have been more sponsorships, especially as this Canes team has gotten better. There have been more corporate dollars. There's a reason why you're now selling logo patches on the jerseys, on the helmets, those kinds of things. You're seeing more and more of it. Obviously, the big Lenovo Center deal is a big portion of that too. I mean, it's for a team that is considered a small market team. Let's be honest, in the world of sports, Raleigh is a small market. To be in the top half of the NHL and the top half of its league, pretty remarkable.
I don't know why this was something that I wanted so badly. I wanted them to be the highest valued Southern team. I want to be able to scream about, hockey in the South comes through Raleigh, which I still can, but it would have been nice if they were just a tad bit higher than the Dallas Stars, who come in at 13th highest valued, $1.94 billion. Canes, $1.92 billion. But if you look at the rate of which they've been growing the last few years, Dallas's reign at the top days are numbered, Dallas.
And Dallas is a top 5 market, media market?
It's bigger market for sure. We'll put it that way.
Take that, Rantanen.
Take that, Miko. Also, just as another take that, Miko. So, some reports out there. The Amazon show that followed around Jarvis?
Yeah, it actually drops here in a couple days.
Apparently, they also followed around a couple guys on the Stars. And after gathering all the info, they're just not in the show. There are some reports out there that I haven't seen a reason why. Could be as simple as they were boring. Could be as complicated as there's some things happen that the league doesn't want to get out. I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there. But I guess people started noticing that they weren't in any of the like promotional material or trailers, and people started asking questions, and now there are some insiders saying no, they're not in it, even though like the cameras were there as often with them as they were with Jarvis or any of the other players in it. Which, again, you want to put on your tinfoil hat and your antennas and go looking for a conspiracy theory. The Miko saga was one of the stories of the entire year in the NHL, not just for Carolina, not just for Dallas, but for the league as a whole. For them to bail on that storyline and that insight is I don't know what's going on there. I don't know. But Carolina would have got the publicity because they're good at business. Whole episode dedicated to Jarvis, reportedly. That's number 3. Let's get to number 2.
Just the two of us.
It means more.
Major League Baseball playoffs going on as we speak. San Diego and the Chicago Cubs. San Diego ahead 3-0 in the top of the 7th over the Cubs. Chicago leads the series 1-0. So if you're just interested in chaos and keeping as many elimination games rolling, I guess you're in favor of the way it sits right now.
I am.
Also, Cubs. I'm rooting for Victoria Bodenecker.
Exactly. I'm rooting for the Cubs to win the
happiness.
whole thing, but I enjoy the chaos. Like Detroit lost to Cleveland earlier today, so now that series is tied 1-1.
Okay, there we go. So we're getting a winner advances, loser goes home game 3. It's obviously the wild card round. Could be in line for another. Later tonight, starting actually within an hour, I believe, we have Boston and the Yankees.
Yeah, it's a 6 o'clock first pitch.
Boston leads that series 1-0, and then the Dodgers lead Cincy 1-0 as well, and that game their game 2 will be at 9. So there's some real, it's playoffs. Sometimes I tease fans that do this. My wife is this way. She grew up in Baltimore or outside Baltimore. She is a Ravens fan. She is an Orioles fan. Yeah, you know what? It is what it is. We overlook it. Actually, I don't hate if my son becomes a Ravens fan because that side of his family, I'm like, oh, that's better than some of the teams I've rooted for in my life. You're setting yourself up for a little bit more joy. But either way, she's openly if they're good and they're in the playoffs, she pays attention to the Orioles, and if they're bad, she kind of doesn't. And I tease her about it, right? And it's not the way to be a true fan. But then when you do get to playoff baseball, or you do get to playoff hockey, or you do sit around and go well, even if I wasn't a fan, I wouldn't miss this. I would jump on the bandwagon for this electricity. So, if Thursday night football stinks because there's a bunch of injuries, maybe you pop on over and tomorrow night watch some elimination baseball. There's worse ways to spend hey, this is a bad Thursday night football game. You know what I mean? Dennis, you've been paying more attention to Major League Baseball. Any highlights you want to pass along?
I just thought the ending of that Yankees-Red Sox game yesterday was just a ton of fun. Seeing the Yankees trailing by a couple runs late in the game, get 3 guys on base, but bases loaded, nobody out in the bottom of the 9th inning against Aroldis Chapman, the closer for the Red Sox. And Chapman shuts him down right after that. Was just, I don't know, fun drama, what you want to see in postseason. You want to see it come down to the very end. And 3 of the 4 games yesterday were super close. That's what you want to see, right?
And unless you're a fan of one of the teams.
Yeah, I guess. But as an innocent bystander who has nothing at stake, give me the drama.
I know you're a Steelers fan. Are you a Pirates fan?
No.
They just didn't want that problem?
My grandfather and my uncle said, you're a Steelers fan. I don't care who else you root for, but you're either a Steeler fan or not part of this family.
Non-negotiables.
That's it.
Got a few non-negotiables.
If you want to root for another team in another sport, fine. But your loyalty lives and dies right here.
I do think the Steelers are one of the franchises you can do that with because Rooney's, it's going to be run a certain way. It's kind of cruel if you're you're going to be a Jets fan or you're gone, because then it's I'm just forcing you to be miserable for most of your fandom.
Yeah. My grandfather said, look, I worked in those steel mills. You root for the Steelers. Otherwise.
That tracks.
Yeah.
Pirates, I was never a Pirate. You can get out of here.
Nah.
So who was your team growing up?
For baseball?
Yeah.
Didn't really have one.
Okay.
Because I grew up in Virginia, a lot of my friends were Orioles fans growing up, or a lot of them were Atlanta Braves fans. because we're kind of stuck in that no man's land. This is before the Washington Nationals showed up. So we got a bunch of Orioles games, but obviously on Turner, you always got 7:35 first pitch. You always had the Braves. And also, I was an hour away from Richmond, where the AAA affiliate for the Braves used to be located.
Flying
so
Squirrels.
If you wanted, it used to be the Richmond Braves, but if you wanted to see pro baseball, that was the closest thing we had to us. So that's where some of that fandom also came from for a lot of my friends.
I've lived all over the country. I think we totaled up the other day, like 9 or 10 states. Every single place I've been, there's the local baseball team or the Braves. It's hilarious because of the old Turner deal. In Nebraska, it's like, well, we're Kansas City fans, some are Rockies fans, but a lot of us are Braves fans too. And it's like, that okay. You're in Hawaii, it's like, well, there's a lot of West Coast teams or the Braves. Like, there's always or the Braves. That's number 2. Let's get to number 1. Carolina Panthers made a flurry of roster moves today. I wouldn't say any of the super impactful variety, but you can parse a little bit of information out of a few of them. They moved Chandler Zavala to the offensive line, of the offensive line to the injured reserve. Also, wide receiver David Moore to the injured reserve, which triggered a bunch of kind of moves around. Already, DJ Johnson was waived yesterday, which opened up another spot on the active roster. LeBrian Ray, defensive lineman, was activated to his 21-day practice window. When you're coming off the IR, you can be activated 21 days where you can practice and not take up an active roster spot. So he's there on the way back. I mean, all hands on deck for the defense. I don't know if LeBrian Ray is a mover and a shaker that much, but can't hurt. Then they signed to the active roster a running back in DJ Dallas. That's an interesting one. Special teamer, obviously, but could that be something being said about Trevor Etienne? Maybe. Could that also be something said about Chuba Hubbard's calf?
Well, Chuba Hubbard did not practice today.
Maybe that's part of the action there. It'll be Dowdle with Etienne continuing in a similar role to what he's had, and maybe DJ Dallas takes that backup role. Trevian, am I pronouncing that right? Travian Thomas, defensive back, also signed to the active roster. He had been with them in training camp and bounced around on the different levels of rosters. And they also signed an offensive lineman, Jake Curhan, off the Arizona practice squad.
So a couple notable names here on the injury report for today. Chuba Hubbard did not practice today because of that calf injury. Taylor Moton just had a normal veteran rest day, so some people were maybe worried about that earlier. Jatavian Sanders still dealing with the ankle injury, did not practice. Turk Wharton actually did not practice today because of a toe injury. He just came back last week from a hamstring. Now he's dealing with a toe injury. Shaw Smith-Wade did not practice. Chest injury is what was listed as. But DJ Wanham, who did not play last week, was limited today with a hip injury, even though he didn't play last week. A couple guys that didn't play last week, Pat Jones and Xavier Legette, full participants in practice today, which are also good sides. And Tedderell McMillan, also a full participant in practice today as well. LeBrian Ray, a full participant in practice as well. So we might see Xavier Legette. Apparently he is feeling confident that he'll play this week, and same with Pat Jones.
Xavier Legette is still that magic beans. It's what is it going to turn into? I don't know whether to be excited or worried that he could be on the active roster. And I honestly, if you feel 100% in either direction there, I would question your logic because it's truly a grab bag, right? He still has the physical skills. He still has not a ton of production, and that's the way it's going to be until it changes.
I'd say cautiously optimistic.
Cautiously optimistic, or like surprisingly concerned. It's like it's either 70% excited, 30% concerned, or 30% excited, 70% concerned, or anywhere kind of on that spectrum. If you are dead set and 100% in either direction, I don't know how you're there, right? I think there's a appropriate amount of I don't know built into Xavier Legette. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We need some numbers game contestants, don't we? We have tickets, a pair of tickets to the SAS Championship, at the Champions Tour golf tournament. SAS Championship is celebrating 25 years, October 10th through 12th at Prestonwood Country Club. You can kick off the weekend with Food Truck Friday and their big fireworks show. Then watch 7 Hall of Famers, 13 major champions, 10 Ryder Cup legends tee it up in Cary. Again, Prestonwood Country Club. Kids get in free. Tickets start at just $30. Grab yours now at saschampionship.com. That's SAS championship.com. And all this week, if you listen to the numbers game and you play and you win, you could win tickets not just to the SAS Championship, but to the Mellow Mushroom Chill Club, which includes open bar and catering. So if you want a pair of tickets to the SAS Championship that include Mellow Mushroom Chill Club, you got to win the numbers game. You got to call in now. We need 2 contestants. 919-860-5326. That's 919-860-5326 for your chance to win the tickets and your chance to play the numbers game. Call in now. Numbers game next.
The Adam Gold Show.
Look, Bradley Nadeau had a great preseason. I thought he was really impressive other than the first game. He scored 3 goals, actually 4, even though 1 was chalked off for being offside. And I think we got a glimpse of the future. Even though he's going to start the season with the Chicago Wolves in the American Hockey League, I think we got a glimpse of somebody who's going to be with the Hurricanes sooner rather than later and will be part of their future.
The Adam Gold Show, weekdays starting at noon on 99.9 The Fan.
It's bow time. Fumbling the food on game day? Rookie move. But you know Bo can make your tailgate a winner, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Because the Carolina Legend has everything you're craving. We're talking crispy, juicy chicken loaded with real Southern flavor, fluffy, scratch-made buttermilk biscuits, and all the fixins to feed your whole crew faster than you can say touchdown. Be the MVP this season and let Bojangles do the cooking. Order your tailgate today. It's bow time.
Planning a tailgate? Then it's bow time. Bojangles has everything you need for the perfect tailgate, no matter how many fans you're trying to feed. There's the original tailgate, the super tailgate, and for a really big crowd, the jumbo tailgate special. And if you like your chicken off the bone, choose the Supreme's tailgate special that includes 12 perfectly seasoned tenderloin fillets. So grab the tickets, get that Bojangles tailgate special, and go. It's bow time.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL or visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on. Visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell and Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois. CordellCordell.com.
This is John Wall. The Salvation Army does so much for people right here in Wake County. Join me in showing them some love and support. Just for me, the Salvation Army is always dope. It gives opportunity for anybody, any situation to get support. I really got into it because my mom, before she passed, she was always doing so much she could to help the Salvation Army, cooking for them, doing anything to give back to them. So we always want to honor her and keep that going with my John Wall Family Foundation. The need in Wake County is real, and the Salvation Army is meeting it with real solutions. If you want to help, visit wakearmy.org.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time to play the numbers game. The prize for today, tickets to the SAS Championship. We're talking PGA Tour Champions Tour golf tournament in Cary. The numbers are impressive. They have 13 major champions, 7 Hall of Famers, 10 Ryder Cup legends. Teeing it up in Cary in the field of golfers. If you want to purchase your own tickets, saschchampionship.com, saschchampionship.com. But the better way, as we all know, is to win tickets. The 2 with the opportunity today, Tyler in Durham and Clay in Holly Springs. Tyler in Durham, Clay in Holly Springs. As always, we'll bring them both onto the show, and they will answer a question that I will ask them both, and Dennis will pick his favorite answer. Dennis, are you ready? Yes? Tyler in Durham, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. So we've been telling everybody throughout the past few days, past few weeks, to go ahead and download our app, right? And part of an app is the little icon, 99.9 The Fan, the little logo that is resting there on your phone. So inspired by that, what's the best logo in sports? Could be a throwback logo, could be a team's logo, could be a player's brand logo. What is the best logo in sports?
I'm not a Broncos fan, but their throwback logo is really nice.
I would agree with that. I think that's a solid one. Like the early Elway era Broncos logo. Yep. All right.
Yep.
Perfect. We'll lock that in and see if that gets chosen. That brings us to Clay in Holly Springs. Clay, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Inspired by the awesome logo that is the app icon for our 99.9 The Fan app. Download it right now from your Google Play or App Store. What is the best logo in sports?
I'd go with the 90s Charlotte Hornets.
Another good one. We have the Broncos throwback and the Hornets throwback. Dennis, which one are you choosing as the judge?
Oh, this is actually very difficult because the block letter D with the Bronco that used to be back with the light blue and the orange.
Just hints of Durham Bulls logo.
It's very much similar to the Durham Bulls logo, but that old school Broncos is absolutely iconic. I absolutely love that logo. But I cannot go against
the Charlotte Hornets.
I can't go against that logo. The old school Charlotte Hornets logo, the teal and purple, it's way better than what they have right now. But yes, the old school one. So I'll go with Clay on this one. But both fantastic answers, by the way.
They are both very, very, very good answers. And luckily, neither of them said that weird helmet that only has a logo on one side that the Steelers use.
Who would choose that?
Yeah, nobody. With that being said, actually, I need to remember who said what. The Hornets logo was the one that was chosen, and Clay and Holly Springs said that. So Clay will get to go first. Tyler, you'll have your chance. Just have to sit on hold for a second. Clay, are you ready to pick a category?
Yep.
All right. The categories are NFL players with October birthdays. We have NFL players that were born in the 21st century as the next category, so the youngsters. NBA players with mid-September birthdays. Or NHL players, hurricanes throughout history?
We'll do NFL, the 21st century.
All right. NFL players born in the 21st century. I will give you the team or the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. One pass if you need it. Do you have any questions before we get started?
I'm good.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Garrett Wilson, New York Jets.
17.
Correct. Alec Pierce, Indianapolis Colts.
11.
Incorrect. Tyler Algier, Atlanta Falcons.
25.
Correct. Trent McDuffie, Kansas City Chiefs.
Pass.
Panay Sewell, Detroit Lions.
51.
Incorrect. Alec Pierce, Indianapolis Colts.
14.
Correct. Trent McDuffie, Kansas City Chiefs.
27.
Incorrect. Panay Sewell, Detroit Lions.
57.
Incorrect. Trent McDuffie, Kansas City Chiefs.
Ugh.
I got excited there because you were getting close to Panay Sewell. Panay Sewell, 58. You went 57. We needed 58. McDuffie, we would have accepted 21 or 22. And for those of you playing at home, Garrett Wilson, he wore 17 earlier in his career. He is now wearing 5. We would have accepted either. Obviously, 17 was good enough for the win for the contestant. Clay, you got 3. That's a solid number. Stay on the line. We'll see if it holds up. That brings us to Tyler in Durham. Tyler, are you there?
I'm here.
All right. The categories remaining for you to choose from are NFL players with October birthdays, NBA players with mid-September birthdays, or NHL hurricanes throughout history.
NFL October.
All right. I will give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. One pass if you need it. You need at least 4 for the win. Any questions before we get started?
Nope.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. CJ Stroud, Houston Texans.
7.
Correct. Kenny Clark, Dallas Cowboys.
30.
Incorrect. Mark Rypien, Washington Redskins.
10.
Incorrect. Kenny Clark, Dallas Cowboys.
Pass.
Rudy Johnson, Cincinnati Bengals.
25.
Incorrect. Mark Rypien, Washington Redskins.
8.
Incorrect. Kenny Clark, Dallas Cowboys.
25.
Incorrect. Rudy Johnson, Cincinnati Bengals.
28.
Incorrect. Mark Rypien, Washington Redskins.
34.
Incorrect. You got Stroud, which was a good start. Kind of fizzled from there. So unfortunately, it's not enough for the win. But hopefully, you had some fun.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, appreciate it. For those of you playing at home, Kenny Clark with the Cowboys, we would have accepted 95 or 96. Rippin with Washington, number 11 is what we were looking for. And Rudy Johnson, who I believe has tragically passed away within the last couple of weeks. Number 32 with the Bengals, had a really good run as a running back there with Cincy. So, thoughts and support to his family and community. 32 is the number we were looking for. And that means Clay in Holly Springs is the winner. Clay, congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
SAS Championship tickets, and that includes the Mellow Mushroom Club, which is open bar and catering and a whole bunch of cool stuff. So congratulations on the win. Go ahead and stay on the line. Dennis has some info he needs to grab from you. All right, there we go. It's funny. I actually, as far as like celebrations and stuff, sometimes I think those that really want the prize don't do like the loud on-air celebrations. And I'm not saying that all of the prizes aren't awesome, but obviously some, like if you're a diehard golf fan, you get SAS Championship tickets, you get to go see the legends, you're going to be super jacked. But they almost don't celebrate until they know, like, when's the email coming? What info do you need? That then they can finally relax and celebrate. It's like, ironically, like a golfer, right? You make the final putt on 18, you celebrate, then you still got to go sign your scorecard. You're like, it's not official yet. Need to go make sure none of this is messed up. So it doesn't happen, right? So they don't add a 2-stroke penalty because I missed my partner's swing on whatever club. So anyway, my point is, I think that caller was very excited about the prize, even though when I was like, hey, you win, they just kind of bailed. That's what I'm getting at. Here's an interesting bit of reporting done by ESPN, and we'll hit this quickly before we move on. Dan Wetzel, ESPN, he is a senior writer and College Game Day podcast host, tweets, according to his sources, the Big Ten is in discussions about a private capital deal that would infuse at least $2 billion to the league and its schools. That, according to Wetzel and Pete Thamel's reporting. The discussions include a 10-year extension of the league's grant of rights until 2046. That is very interesting for a few reasons. One, it would obviously move the Big Ten to the front of the big chip stacks table or line in college sports when it comes to NIL, coach funding, and everything else. B, the discussions would include a 10-year extension of the league's grant of rights. Because right now, if the way you look at college sports, there are quite a few different contracts and things that would be ending or have outs at around the same time. And if you add a 10-year extension to the Big Ten's grant of rights till 2046, that would put them on a completely different timeline than SEC, ACC, a few of these other entities who might be interested in super leagues or some of these other things. So something to monitor in a big way there. Dan Wetzel and Pete Thamel doing some reporting on the business side of things with the Big Ten. And obviously private capital is a whole other interesting angle that once that gets into college sports, it'll be an even bigger arms race.
I missed it. So is private equity looking to get into the Big Ten?
So yeah, pretty much.
I know it's been the topic of conversation in a lot of places with college sports.
Dan Wetzel and Pete Thamel reporting for ESPN. Their sources say the Big Ten is in discussions about a private capital deal that would infuse at least $2 billion to the league and its schools. Here's the interesting part, though. The tweet adds, and there's a full article you can go read on ESPN.com. The tweet adds, the discussions include a 10-year extension of the league's grant of rights until 2046.
Interesting.
Which would separate them greatly as far as timelines for availability to shake things up from the SEC and ACC and some of these other groups that it's all kind of aligning in that early to mid 2030s for when it's realistic exit fees / when certain grant of rights and media deals are ending. 2036, between 2034 and 2036 is when kind of a big super league could happen based on where contracts are. This would kind of exclude the Big Ten from those conversations.
Yeah, when it comes to the private equity stuff, you obviously know they're gonna want to make their money back and then some. Like, what's it gonna cost down the line? Like, what are you giving up 10% of your media rights deals, or what? I'm just curious what that's gonna be.
I have no clue.
That's
Florida State opened this can of worms when they started having these board meetings when they wanted to leave the ACC, and they started talking about basically running their team like a hedge fund, and now the Big Ten is appears knee deep in it, if not waist deep already. We'll see how committed they are. Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, here's Dennis Cox with something for you.
Dennis Cox here for Loan Prontos. Speaking of finances, are you trapped in a high-rate mortgage, watching your hard-earned money just vanish away every single month? Well, stop. Right now at Loan Pronto, they are delivering the lowest mortgage rates in 3 years. Loan Pronto's rate reduction home loan program is a streamlined, low-cost way to slash your house payments by hundreds of dollars a month. Lock in a fixed rate as low as 4.99% APR and close it as little as 2 weeks. No appraisal needed in most cases, and here's the kicker. You can skip your next two house payments entirely. Don't wait. Rates this low won't last. Call Loan Pronto now for your free, no-obligation quote. Imagine this. Lower payments, more money in your pocket, and a fresh start with a better mortgage. Call 919-381-1760 or visit loanpronto.com to lock in your new low rate and skip those next two payments. Don't let high rates hold you back, folks. Call 919-381-1760 or go to loanpronto.com right now. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Will be back with some college football talk. Where does ESPN have Darian Mensah and C.J. Bailey when it comes to ranking all of the power conference quarterbacks? I'll tell you next.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
This is your year if you're Buffalo. This is your year. The competition in the AFC in terms of number of great teams is less than it feels like it's been. You have to take advantage of it.
I'm looking around the landscape of the AFC, and every single team has major questions with the exception of the Buffalo Bills.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Football season is here, and Carolina Ale House is the place to be. With a massive beer selection, wall-to-wall TVs, and our award-winning wings, you'll never miss a play. Add in our lineup of homemade favorites, and you've got the best seat in the house. Bring your friends, bring your appetite, and help us create that game day atmosphere all season long at Carolina Ale House. Wings, beer, sports, repeat. Hell yeah.
Hey everybody, Paul Ihander again from 99.9 The Fan for FanDuel. And FanDuel is getting you ready for kickoff with an offer you won't want to miss. New customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. Can you believe it? Pick a bet $5, and if it wins, you unlock $300 in bonus bets to use all across the app. You can build parlays. I love parlays. Bet player props. I love player props. Ride the live lines. I love those too. Whatever your style, FanDuel has you covered. Visit FanDuel.com/Paul. That's Paul with a capital P. Download your FanDuel app today and get started. Get yourself ready for kickoff. 21 plus and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Under center is Bailey, left hashes. Takes the snap. It's a drop back, dump off, end zone touchdown. Justin Jolie leaks out after the snap, and he catches it with two hands near side of the right end zone, and the Packs on the board.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Just because we're talking college football, I'll give you a quick update here. Corey Smith, Pack Pride, 20 minutes ago. NC State has confirmed Sean Brown, one of their linebackers, will be out for the Campbell game. Sean Brown, one of the leading tacklers in the country, which I think says a little bit about how the tackling is done around him, that he's making so many. Him and Caden Fordham are making a ton of tackles. But still, that'll be a loss that is felt if it probably lasts anywhere beyond the Campbell game. Should be okay against Campbell if you're State, but beyond that, you want Sean Brown on your defense. In other college football news, ESPN put together a ranking of every single power conference starting quarterback. And Is it like, the be-all, end-all? Is this some kind of official ranking? No, it's not like the college football playoff rankings. But it is interesting to just see kind of what the temperature is on a important position, right? If I say this about coaches, GMs, programs as a whole, if you can't manage the quarterback position, you can't manage a football team, right? You can do everything else right. If your quarterback isn't playing up to speed, or at least managing the game well enough, you're not going to win many games, and you're darn sure not going to win many championships. So let's dive in, shall we? The highest ranked passer in the ACC is... It's not who you'd think. I'll put it that way. It is Chandler Morris of Virginia. The highest ranked passer from last year's ACC? Fernando Mendoza. He was at Cal. Now he's at Indiana, and he's kind of lighting it up. So he is even higher. He's a top 10 player on the list. I'll give you kind of the rundown of where the ACC sits, and then we can have our reactions. Chandler Morris, 13 from UVA. Tommy Castellanos from Florida State, 16th in the country. Carson Beck, Miami, 18th in the country. Darian Mensah from Duke, 22nd in the country. I'll give you a few more here before we start breaking it down. Haynes King, Georgia Tech, 29th in the country. I think he would be like the 17th best football player, 29th best quarterback. He falls in a different category.
Yeah, he's different.
Haynes King. C.J. Bailey, NC State, 32nd. As we keep it rolling. Kevin Jennings, he was highly hyped by SMU preseason, 35th. And if you scroll, there are 68 players on the list, 68 teams on the list. Gio Lopez of North Carolina is 66th. So he is all the way down there at the bottom. And for what it's worth, the unofficial depth chart that was put out by UNC for this week, Gio Lopez was still listed as the starting quarterback. He was unable to practice last week during the bye week due to an injury. We'll see if he's still the starter when it hits this weekend. I believe both Darian Mensah and C.J. Bailey are too low on this list. To get to the reaction portion of it, I think they're too low on this list, and I hate to accuse, because accuse is the wrong term, but I hate to put this on other media members. I think one of the hardest things to do in media is not be what some call take locked, which is you can study someone, and then not just you, media as a whole can study someone as a high school prospect for years and come to a decision on how good you think they are. I would put a season in college as more information than 1,000 high school seasons or 1,000 high school camps as far as accurate judge of how good a quarterback is. Because when you have someone like Chandler Morris, and no disrespect to Chandler, he's a good quarterback, right? I think he is amongst the top, couple dozen in college sports. When you put him 13th and you put someone like Darian Mensah outside the top 20, the only thing that I can think of to explain that is you were higher on Chandler Morris way back when, and you didn't know who Darian Mensah was. So Chandler Morris has just had to not tumble, and Darian Mensah has had to aggressively climb the ranks. And I don't think that's fair. I don't think it's fair. David Hale, hat tip to David Hale, covers the ACC for ESPN. He's also a Delaware Blue Hen. He put out this tweet earlier today. ACC quarterbacks over the last 20 years who have posted more passing yards and a better completion percentage through 5 games than Darian Mensah. All right? Cam Ward, Kenny Pickett, Mitch Trubisky, Drake May twice, and Ryan Finley. That's it. And as David Hale points out, and I will do the same for you, that is 4 first-round draft picks and a 4th-round draft pick.
Yeah.
That is elite company. Then those are the only players by some of the most basic judging stats of quarterbacking, like how many yards are you throwing for and at how much are you completing your passes. That's it in ACC history for guys that have been better by that metric than Darian Mensah. Darian Mensah is behind Carson Beck, who's thrown for 8 touchdowns and has the Miami Beast behind him. And Tommy Castellanos, who literally in the description, if you read the article, Tommy Castellanos at Florida State, right? They have him as the 16th best quarterback in the country. The first sentence in the explanation says he is never going to be the most consistent passer in the world. How? I mean, how is that? You're the 16th best quarterback in the country. Consistency is what quarterbacking is. That is it.
Still riding that wave of saying they're going to beat Alabama and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. Maybe that's that.
Yeah, they're giving him like as a quarterback.
Points.
Yeah, they're giving him all the X factor points. You can't actually judge this. It's just poise. I look at this and I say there will and always will be. So I don't even know why I'm surprised. Okay, there is and always will be brand name bias when it comes to college football. Right? When the league is so big and the FBS and power conferences as a whole are so big that you can't play a truly like all-encompassing schedule where you can't face everybody at least every couple years, there's always going to be brand name bias, and it's not exclusive to just like CFP rankings and whatnot, right? There's always going to be something like Chandler Morris's dad was a college football coach. Garrett Nussmeier's dad is a NFL offensive coordinator. Some of these guys were 4- and 5-star prospects that we've gotten to know as quarterbacks going back to their sophomore or junior year of high school, and it becomes very difficult for a late bloomer to break into those ranks until, and I've said this with Darian Mensah, I think it's going to happen maybe a little bit later with C.J. Bailey, until one of the I don't even know what to call them, kingmakers, one of the evaluators that have a certain amount of gravitas make a big statement about this guy is going to be a big one. And then as soon as they say that, everyone else feels empowered. They all go watch more film, and they go, you know what? Yeah, this one could be good. Who was it? It was Josh Allen at Wyoming. I forget who it was. There was one of the guys at the desk covering the NFL draft. It may have been McShay, it may have been Kuiper, it may have been someone else, so I don't even know why I offered those names. But ESPN's coverage of the NFL draft, 7th round comes to an end, okay? 7th round, dunzo, last pick in the draft. And one of the evaluators just casually leans into a microphone and goes, I have a dark horse for next year's number 1 overall pick, Josh Allen from Wyoming. And up until that point, he had never really been mentioned. That made it okay for everyone else to talk about Josh Allen from Wyoming. And then from that point on, he was mentioned amongst the first-round picks. If somebody were to say, and it would have to be somebody with a name, somebody with some gravitas that you can hide behind, right? That way, if you're wrong as an evaluator, you can say, yeah, but they said it first. If one of them came out and just said, Darian Mensah, dark horse, first-round pick, 2027 NFL draft or something like that, 2026 NFL draft, I think that hype would go crazy. He'd be listed as a top 15 guy in the country. I think he's playing that well. And C.J. Bailey, obviously there's more of a ramp there. He can do it as well, but he's 19 years old, true sophomore, not as polished as of yet. I think at some points, especially if he puts on another 15 pounds, at some point somebody's going to say, C.J. Bailey might be one of those guys. And once it's said, groupthink is going to be a really fun thing for those guys. They'll ride that hype wave as far as they need to. But until then, they're just going to be underrated, right? If they wanted to be overrated, they could have gone to Oklahoma or something like that, right? John Mateer was really good last year at Washington State. He goes to Oklahoma now. He gets the brand boost. Now all of a sudden he's the 12th best quarterback in the country. It's funny how that happens. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We have Overdrive coming up next. Dennis, I already forget. What are we leading Overdrive off with? UNC football is what we're talking about. Some audio from Bill Belichick on the coaches show there that you can hear. So that's going to lead off Overdrive. please download the app, 99.9 The Fan. Download the app. You can, if you're a big UNC fan, you can find UNC content sorted nicely. If you're a fan of State or Duke or the Panthers or Canes, whatever, it's all divided up nicely. 99.9 The Fan app. Download it. You might win some stuff just for doing it. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, as I said, coming to a close. Overdrive coming up next here on 99.9 The Fan. We'll be back tomorrow to get you closer to the weekend. It's Thursday already. Until then, have a great night, everybody.
Adam.
I'm Adam Gold, and I'm there.
Tim.
I'm Tim Donnelly, and I'm there.
Dennis.
I'm Dennis Cox, and I'm there.
Victoria.
I'm Victoria Bodenecker, and I'm there.
Paul.
I'm Paul Eihander, and I'm there too.
You'll find them all here on the brand new 99.9 The Fan app. To work, to school, the beach, the mountains, the arena, take The Fan with you wherever you go. Available for Apple iPhone and Android phones. Download the 99.9 The Fan app today. Powered by Aspire Money Management.
Hey folks, Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. In just over 2 months, I've lost nearly 40 pounds at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. Those are just real numbers. In just over 2 months, I've lost nearly 40 pounds at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. And one of the things I love about Raleigh Weight Loss Center is not just helping me reach that target goal weight. They want to maintain that goal weight as well. In a recent appointment that I had with Raleigh Weight Loss Center, not only were we discussing the final steps to get those last